And while you're doing that, thank you, friends, for being here. Galaxy, Balanjanos, Hankos, Scott, Ruston, welcome everybody. Hankos, oh my gosh, that hair that you dropped like 2 weeks ago, so cool. Like, totally has Sia vibes all over it. But you really did an awesome job on that one.
I'm rushing to the marketplace to go take a look at
Yeah,
it.
it's cool. Like Hankos kind of said in I believe it was a tweet. At first, I couldn't find you to tag you, and then I spelled it like auto corrected to Ham instead of Hankos. So I totally messed up my tweet. But I believe Hankos, you said it's like a tradition or like a really cool, hip, contemporary hairstyle in Japan, and it somehow like translates to like turtle. But it's really cool. Like it just makes me realize, like, whoa, there's this whole wide world out there that I'm not aware of, like these cool hairstyles and stuff.
Ah, yes, yes. I did see it release. I also have seen people wear it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it seems like we hadn't had new hair for a while, and now there's like a couple. Yeah, there's just more hair being released, a couple new faces, so it's really cool. Just I love being able to mix up avatars, and I don't know, like I'll probably always rock my L1 eyes, but I do like just kind of trying some different hairstyles out. Oh, I should put it on right now.
Yeah, the usual suspects coming out of the woodworks, like Doki with some more hair, and then the Anku with the shiny hair,
That's
as well
right.
as
Yeah.
Hanko's.
Oh, I didn't even notice Hankos this clip on the back of the ponytail. That looks so good. It's so detailed. I love it. I feel like a walking, talking billboard because I'm also like rocking this new Mythic shirt. Um, I'm like, why hasn't it sold out yet? Y'all need to buy this. This is so pretty.
Hey, Unknower's here. Hello, Unknower. And to everyone here in the space, welcome. This is our weekly community building the Decentraland Twitter space. If you're new to the space and first time joining, just feel free to request to come up to speak, ask any questions about like what we do on Decentraland, what is Decentraland, how do you get on, whatever it may be. No question will go unanswered. Thank you so much for being here on another weekend. So good to see some of you. Let's see. There, hello, Kay, Madamus, Mariana, Rustan. No, good, almost good night, Kenji. Man, Kenji's staying up very late on a Friday, on a Saturday night. You too, Kay, actually.
Yeah, that's so cool. I like.
I see Kay laughing down there.
Uh, I saw their Twitter space. I don't know. Was it earlier this week? It was like 5 o'clock in the morning. I woke up, and couldn't go back to sleep. So I saw they were doing their Twitter space. So I listened. I don't speak Japanese, so I don't know. But I was like, oh, I'm just gonna be in the room to support. So I love that you guys do that. Like it is so cool. Like so important to have like a global audience. So thank you guys for staying up and making it to ours.
It is so important, and a lot of the times when I miss some, I like feel really really bad, but it's just like so early in the morning for me. When I can, I'll throw it open. And Kanessa, you'd be surprised, you think you wouldn't be able to understand, but like sometimes they'll like shout you out and request to like let you to come up to speak, and then all of a sudden they'll like switch up the language from Japanese to English just to say hello. And they're always so hype and warm, welcoming. I love the Twitter spaces that our Japanese friends host.
That's so cool. I'll have to make it to more. It's Mondays, right? Like Monday. It's like super early Monday my time, but I don't know. Is that right?
Is it Monday? I thought I saw I thought they were like Wednesdays, just very early.
Okay, I could be wrong.
Hey, I could be wrong too.
Because it might actually be like Tuesday by the time, like it might be Tuesday for them and Monday for us. I don't know. It is, it is so funny the global audience. Like, I just like I think it's normal for us now. You know, I've been talking with people, a couple friends that I'm working on a little project with, and they're in like on the other side of the planet, and so I am like just getting started on my day, and they're like, "Oh, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I need to go to bed," and I'm like, "But wait, I'm ready to go." And then, yeah, it was like the other way around last night. I was like, "No, I need to go to bed," and they're like, "No, like we got to go to the grocery store yet." So it's, uh, I think we take it for granted what a global, I don't know, just like what a global audience we have, or I do. I guess I can only speak for myself, but just I was talking to normies lately, you know, trying to my mistake. I was trying to explain Web3 in the metaverse to some public school employees at a elementary school, and they're just looking at me with this look on their face like they don't understand it. And I was like, yeah, I'm talking to my friend across the world, and oh, it's just a reminder. We're so early. We need $1 every time we say we're so early.
And Kay did comment. She said that they are on Tuesdays. So Tuesday mornings. And good morning, Scott. How are you today? I'm wondering if Scott accidentally came up or if he's just having mic issues.
Oh, I see his mic going off. We, I don't know. I can't hear you, Scott, if you're talking. Oh, going down.
Probably have to give it the good old turn it off and turn it back on treatment.
Yep, unplug it, plug it back in.
While we
Hello.
wait for Scott to come up. Oh, there he is.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hi. Good morning, Simple. Good morning, Kanessa.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mariana and Metamus and Kay and Kenji and Rustan and let's see, Alpha Angels and Jim Cedric and Bayon Hanos and who else? Mana Dude. I see some new people out there. Hello, Galaxy. Um, just checked out your profile. Gave you a follow. Hello, Hunkos. Hello, Miguel Sanchez World. Who else do we have here? Lord Nemesis. Good to see you again. It's been a while. Yeah, good morning, everybody. How are you guys?
Doing good. It's Saturday, so it's nice, nice relaxing weekend.
Absolutely. I popped up here just because I wanted to let people know if they hadn't already found out. I think the official tweet came out, was it yesterday or it might have been Thursday? It might have gotten lost in the memory hole of, everybody's getting ready for the weekend. But the call for entries went out for November's themed month in Decentraland for the music festival, and that is going out to musicians and DJs, but also for builders, developers, and I'd say event planners. Um, the I think they're going to pick five musical acts at $500 a piece. And I think there's also, I forget the number, but for the builds, I think it also might be five. I have to go back and check. It's a different tweet, but it's $1,000, 1,000 US, for anybody who's gonna like build a venue for the event.
Oh yeah, I did hear about the call. By any chance, do you know how many? Actually, let me read this real quick. Okay, do you know how many builds would be accepted or picked?
Yeah, I'm just on my phone. If I was at my workstation, I'd be able to give you that answer. And I just pinned the tweet about the musical talent component, so the performers and the DJs. I don't know. I do know that the dollar amount for each award given is $1,000. So, um, not like a huge amount, but if somebody who's an up and coming builder or developer wants to wants to create a venue, invite some of their own acts or people that they know of, I think it's a great opportunity just for getting started. Um, so yeah, I'll while you guys keep talking, I will head over to my workstation and look for the announcement. I also want to say before I just mute myself is that the foundation is working with Bay Backner to do this call, to do this public call, and I've worked with Bay in the past, worked on the Mesh festival, and just have also interacted with her, independently of that, and um, I have a really high opinion of Bay. Any project that she's involved in, I know she works hard, and not just working hard, but is a very smart creator in the space. So uh, I think that it says a lot about the potential success of the upcoming event.
Yeah, Bay is awesome. And thank you, Scott. I know they're a joy to work with. I was like, "Oh, are you putting something in Bay?" Because they're such an outstanding artist, but they're not. They're just helping at this point. So that'll be really cool to see. I want to say there's like four or five. I don't know why that number was sticking out in my mind. That's how many they're going to choose. I I could be wrong, but I believe it was just that much. But the deadline to put in your idea proposal is just really soon. Like next week,
It's the
did
6th
you
of
say?
October, I think. And you're right. It's just an idea. Like, you don't have to have your build finished. You need to have a portfolio to demonstrate your ability to create a build. Like, I'm gonna make a 20 parcel, a 4 by 5, uh, dancing cactus, and there's gonna be different nightclubs on each pine needle of the cat. No, you have to be able to demonstrate that you can in fact deliver on something like that. So uh,
Well, and I believe that the limit is 4 by 4 or a four-piece parcel
it's a 2 by 2.
for
It's a
okay 2 by 2,
four parcel estate. Yes.
which would be 40,000 triangles. I mean, if you're in the SDK, that's no problem. But just thinking like it's a that's a good amount to work with. Like that's a good challenge, I think, for people to make something that small or that big. Like that would be a good place to work. I know we had talked about like doing something as CBD, and it'd be cool. I don't know if anybody wants to. I guess the CBD thread is open. They can start spitballing ideas there.
Yeah, we're
Um,
not gatekeeping anything. If anybody has a community oriented proposal, I'm just giving the information. But that's a really good point, Kanessa, that we could do something as the CBD collective. Hadn't considered that. But yeah, anybody that wants to, that's in the CBD Discord, can just say, "Hey, I have this idea," and then start going with it. Nobody's going to say, "No, you can't do that." So if anybody does have an idea, come on forward.
Oh, oh boy, are we gonna rally the troops like 2 weeks before the event and make something amazing?
sure, we should actually wait until 1 week before because that's usually how we work best.
Those were fun times. Like going back to kind of like the CBD 1 year celebration. We just like we knew we wanted to do it, and then like 2 weeks before we're like, all right, we really need to start this, and then we just like full, full steam ahead. Like we did it.
That's okay, because you remember I thought it was like 3 days. I was like, so guys, we have to get this done in 3 days. And then they're like, no, the birthday's in 2 weeks. Oh, I don't know what I was thinking. But so yeah, like I was down to 3 days. Like that's plenty of time to pull together a build and 6 musicians and 6 hours of music. Like who wouldn't do that? But yeah, like that that was such a fun experience. I feel like just the we kind of did the same thing. Like anybody that wanted to could come and just contribute what they could. It wasn't super organized. It was just like, all right, who wants to make something? And somebody was like, I'll make a whale. And I was like, I'll make the build. And it was cool, really, how seamlessly it came together and how well people worked together. So
Excuse
that was
me.
awesome. I say it's all, yeah.
Vanessa.
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were done. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I attribute it all to CK and their ability to organize and execute. CK kept us like I don't
No,
know.
CK is a great project manager, creative
Yeah.
director. Absolutely, hands down. I have it's on zealous.co, which I guess is, I think it's what Bay used to field the call for entries for Mesh. So anyway, I'm on the actual page for the Decentraland, call for creators. So it says create a 3D installation, interactive game, or experience for Decentraland Music Festival. So it doesn't have to be something with a musician or a DJ. It could be an experience. Will be awarded $1,000 US, as well as a digital exhibition space in the main event plaza. Only proposals need to be submitted at this stage. So that up front, right? I mean, I think those are the most important things. But when it gets down to, it goes in and explains like what the music festival is. And then it gets down to brass tacks, who can enter. 3D creators, game studios, design studios, or artist collaborations from anywhere in the world may enter. Brands and NFT projects may also enter as long as their installation offers a compelling experience to the DCLMF 23. So that's Decentraland Music Festival 2023 visitors and meets the requirements below. So what are the requirements? You build for a 32 meter by 32 meter. So yeah, that's a four parcel, 2 by 2 parcel under 45 meters in height, submitted in GLB format. So I guess they don't want like the game.ts file, they just want the GLB, which is an important distinction. I'm not exactly sure how they expect people to create gamified experiences, but whatever, I can ask Faye that later. So your files must fit within 40 megabytes in total, including sound files, 40,000 triangles, 45 materials, 23 textures, 800 entities. So, that's very similar, at least in terms of type of description for the mesh, for the cubes, for the mesh art fair. So yeah, I think it's general enough to allow for a lot of different creativity, but it's specific enough to be like, you can't go into sculpt paint and, create 150,000 triangle GLB and expect that to get in.
Bummer.
Bummer, bummer. I do see some new faces in the crowd. Formosa, welcome Lastrum. Blease, Lord Like, welcome Brandon. Hello everyone. I see some new listeners in the crowd. We welcome. If you have any questions about the Central Land, you're more than welcome to come up to speak and ask any questions. Currently, we are covering the open call for our November Music Month. So it's a call to builders and musicians. If you would like to perform or contribute to building, the information's up at the pinned tweet at the top. And of course, Oddjob could probably answer some questions as well.
And Oddjob, while you're here, I think this is a pretty significant development that happened in the DAO. Um, I mean, I make mistakes on my bank account all the time, so like I totally get it. But looks like there was a little whoopsie with how I'm just trying to understand it, and I don't want to explain it because I don't have
So from what I
mastery
read,
over understanding.
I'm no authority, and definitely read it yourself. But from what I read, there was some new functionality that was created for the DAO through the dApps, and it created a, a bug or a glitch or a misreporting. But essentially, when the reports were supposed to come through in terms of how many funds were available, um, it didn't create an accurate count of the available funds. And just as an example, Kanessa and I recently had a grant, and when we posted it, there was plenty of funds in the documentation portion of the DAO, but there were subsequent proposals that passed, which brought the that quarterly funding for that section of the DAO, brought it down below what we had asked for. So it was considered outside of budget, right? Um, so that, yeah, if the money's not there, even if the grant passes, it has to be resubmitted for the following quarter. Yeah, so my understanding is that the amount of available funds was misreported, so that they overspent what they had originally allocated for the previous quarter. That's my understanding.
Yeah, so now there's a DAO grant to put it out to the community to decide how this is remedied. Like either because I believe there were two project grants. I'm not quoting it right. I'm jumping in here. Yeah, two platform grants that perhaps will not get funded if option one. Let's see. Sorry. Number option two, revoke the grants. It would revoke the two last grants that passed from the platform category. It would respect the limits of the grant program, and it would create trouble for the grantees that passed because the people already started working in September. It's a technical fault and not theirs. So there's a couple options. There's 5 different options that they're asking people to choose from. So the grant or like the proposal in the DAO that's asking for options actually has like no information on it. You have to click to go to the forum topic, and then that's where you'll find the breakdown. So I think it's important to like make sure you read through all of these options.
I think
Yeah, and
I think the revocation is not a good idea. Full disclosure: I am involved with the last slice in World Builder proposal, that I think was one of the ones that was approved as a result of the glitch. But I don't know that for a fact. That's just my assumption. So I'm trying to be upfront and honest, in that I am working on that project. However, trying to just be completely open and honest about it. I think because it was a technical problem that was not the fault of the awardees of the grants, and because there are, from quarter to quarter, there are amounts of you know uh, funding that go unspent, that they bite the bullet, take the hit, and fix it, going forward in the future. It's almost like, I forget what's that called, Vanessa, like when they pass a new law, people that have already like once a new rule passes, people that have done certain things in the past that would be considered against the new rule, they're not responsible, because the rule wasn't in existence whenever they were doing the things that they were doing. It does.
like grandfathered in. I would say I know
Yeah,
that
I
that's
hate to use that term
right.
though. That's a really loaded.
Hey, Scott, can I just jump in to make like some points about it since,
Absolutely. Yes, please.
yeah. Um, so yeah, last term here, we had a platform proposal and I was concerned it wasn't going to get passed if another platform proposal passed. That platform proposal passed. So I told our team, guys, there's no more funding. We get passed and nothing happens. Our budget never says out of budget, nothing. In the meantime, another group submits another very large grant to the platform because they don't see that the platform category is out of budget, and they get approved and they get funded. So, it's a huge error. It's unfortunate. I don't really understand what happened. Technically, I do, but we don't need to get into it. We had a call with the grant support squad yesterday, Friday. This was not brought up to myself or Mies on the call with the grant support squad. Just after that call, within an hour, the message was posted in the DAO Discord. So I don't know if it's willfully um, not telling us or accidentally and just finding out within that hour. But our team has already been working on this project, and I'm sure others have as well, as noted in the September mention in the blog post. Where I wanted to raise a question is, one, I'm getting really frustrated with the DAO and how things are working. I personally don't like being shoehorned into 4 or 5 options. Where's the sixth option that says, hey, you as a community member, what do you think we should do? That's exhaustive because there could be 10,000 different options, but I think we need to have some sort of ability to voice other than 4 options. My one other option for a fifth option, and I'll wrap it up here, is what about all of the quarterly spend that gets unused when there's not 100% used in that category, because it doesn't roll over into the next quarter budget. So if there's 200 grand in the platform and only 100 grand gets allocated in a quarter, what happens to that other $100,000? So that would be my vote, would be go back and look at all of the slush fund of unused quarterly budget funds and see if you can cover it that way.
Yeah, and I think, definitely it should not penalize the people that played by the rules, that did everything. I mean, you had you had a lot of moving parts to that proposal, and I mean, you jumped on it once you got it. You were ready to move, and so I don't think that you or your team. I mean, Scott, you said you're affiliated, so but I'm not. Like I no, like I don't think that you guys should pay the price for an oversight. And I always like try to look at it like, what would a bank do? What would the real world do? And I mean, if they make an error, I don't know. Hopefully you wouldn't be penalized for that. So I think
Well,
that
I guess I'm not asking for to not be penalized. I guess a couple things. One, when did the DAO find out about this? Because we didn't know about our vesting contract until September 11th. They backdated our contract until September 1st. So for 10 days, our team was in limbo wondering if there was a mistake. Literally, are we funded or not? That's why I kept asking, and I have messages to the DAO, do we have a vesting contract? What is going on? Because once you have that vesting contract, it's a pretty surety thing that that money is now out of the treasury into your technical bank account so that you can get started. So we were sort of pencils down until that happened. So that's September 11th. What's the date today? September 23rd. We just had a meeting yesterday with the grant support squad and 2 people from the foundation in terms of feasibility with our project. No mention of this. No mention. So that's my one problem. The other problem is, where's more conversation about what to do before presenting us limited options of what to do?
Yeah, definitely. It seems like the more I listen to builders, the more like that. Like, yeah, that is true. The conversation is they're having. It seems like they're having the conversation and leaving the actual builders out of the conversation until they decide the conversation is worthy. Um, well, shit. I'm just gonna do a quick reset of the room. Thank you, Lastrum, for being here today. Just everyone that's listening, Lastrum is a very, very, very well-known builder, coder, individual in the Decentraland space. Very knowledgeable. And yeah, so if you ever hear this man speak, he's speaking volumes. Thank you, everyone. I do see Love Squad in the house. Welcome, Love Louie. Thank you for popping in. I see Longshot from Pixel Palette Nation. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you here, and I hope you enjoy the space. And let's see. Were we finished with this current topic? I would like to just asking because I would like to say hello to our new friend Galaxy.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I wanted to inform people that the announcement was made. Put I put links in the chat and also in the up in the nest or the jumbotron or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I I can certainly come back and discuss it more, but I'm sure we can move on.
I'm sure we might have someone pop in and ask about it. We'll see. And welcome, Galaxy. Welcome.
Hello, good morning, everybody.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Well, I'm Galaxy. I just came up here to say hello to everyone, and I really appreciate you guys for what you are doing. So I'm going to just tell you guys a little about myself. I'm from Nigeria, and I'm currently studying veterinary medicine. I have interest in Web3 space. I'm really passionate about Web3 and I'm curious and also creative. And I'm also open to learning new things and connecting with like minded people. Yeah. And oh, I almost forgot. I have a soft spot for animals too. Thanks for giving me the time to come up here and say hello.
Well, welcome, Galaxy. Thank you for being here. Have you ever been on Decentraland or any other metaverse platform before?
Well, no, I haven't. And Scott, thanks for the follow. I followed you back.
Oh, absolutely, my pleasure. And yeah, welcome up to the speakers panel. And perhaps you could tell us a little more about your interest in Web3.
Okay, well, for now, based with NFT projects, you know, charitable projects. I don't know if you guys know about the NFT Rescue Foundation. It is into helping animals across the world, animals that have been left, deserted, sick animals. He treats them and gives them a new home. Then I've also worked with Bomb Fun NFT. Is a comedy type of NFT project. Don't know if you guys know about it, but it's on Ethereum blockchain. Then I've also worked with Pixelcan as their project manager, but that was last year. I'm no longer with them, but I'm still in communication with the founder. He's a really great guy. We are good friends. And lots of other projects I cannot mention here.
That's awesome. Could you tell us a little bit of like some of the communities, some of the Web3 communities that you have come across or have hung out with? whenever we're here uh, do, doing the creative stuffs in the Web3s.
Okay, I don't know. Do you know of Wolf Punk? The Wolf Punks.
I do not, wolf punks. I don't think I do.
Okay. Okay, they have a similar agenda with the NFT Rescue Foundation, but the founder mostly deals with rescuing dogs and cats. They go out for rescue. On rescue, they find dogs, then if they need treatment, they treat them and take them to their new homes. And it's a really great community. Then Pixelated Peeps. I don't know if you know them, on Ethereum blockchain as well.
Can't say I've heard of that one either.
Sorry, am I logging?
No, you're here.
Okay.
We're just
Yeah.
giving you the time and the space to talk. So if we don't like come in right away, it's not because you're rugging. We're just just giving you an opportunity to speak. But no, I also have not heard of any of those projects.
Whoa. Okay. I don't know if you would like to like get their links or something, or if I should drop their Twitter handles so that you could check them out or follow them whenever you're free. But they are really great communities. Pixelated Peeps, full of a lot of engagements, a lot of events. The community is always bubbling. Whenever you go to their Discord, there's you either meet this activity or the other, and they are a really great team with a wonderful founder as well. And whatever they get, like they give back to the community. So it's a wonderful project. I'm also a holder of their NFTs.
Nice. Yeah, totally. You comment their Twitter pages down at in the comments for this Twitter space. That way it could stay there like after we close down.
Okay.
Um, Go ahead.
Okay. No, that's just all. And I really, really appreciate you guys. Thanks for giving me the time to come up and speak. You're really doing a great job, and I hope to join you guys next time too.
Of course. Thank you for coming up and saying hello. We always love meeting new individuals. And yeah, we host these Twitter Spaces every Saturday at noon Eastern. It might be a bit different in your time right at the moment, but yeah, we're usually here at the same time every Saturday. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I really appreciate.
And we're gonna pass it over to the legendary body painter himself, body painter, builder, coder, all around good human, Rustan. Welcome.
Thank you, Sinful, for that intro. Can you hear me all right?
Loud and clear. I'm getting better at my intros, right, Rustan? I'm
Amazing.
doing
You
it.
really know
Doing
how
the
to make
thing.
somebody feel good. Thank you, Galaxy. Nice to meet you. I just wanted to quickly. I have to like. I wish I could stay for the whole spaces, but Saturday is usually one of my body painting days, and I have to head out to work. But I wanted to talk quickly about my drop last week, the pink punk pants. Really grateful for everyone who bid on that. For anyone that doesn't know, I'm a very spontaneous person. I act fast and sometimes don't think things all the way through. And I just wanted to share that I had only the best intentions with this drop. I made some mistakes with some of my decisions. I shared alpha about the drop to several people beforehand, and I acted too quick in accepting the bids. And I sincerely apologize to anyone that felt slighted. I am sorry. I want anything I do, I always want to have good vibes, good energy, and I want to turn this into a positive. So I spent my week wrapping my head around trying to figure out a way to correct this. And I reached out to every holder. I offered to buy back the pants and burn the collection. I listened to all their thoughts. I think the only real viable option is to donate all the profits to like a special grant, like the Pink Punk Pants grant. And if you guys agree, I'd really like it to be something DCL related. I'm not really sure where to begin. I would love for like CBD or the community to help me decide who to give the mana to. I think it's around 1,500 plus mana. I think that's more than enough to fund 3 people to create their own individual wearables. And I would really like to do that for no better reason than to just create good vibes and let people rock those pants without feeling weird about it in any way. So yeah, thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you for coming up, Rustan. Uh, yeah, well, that's one of the things that I admire about you. How spontaneous you can be at times, because they're always like at more of the times, like it's something incredible, something that everyone is so eager to see. Um, I'll pass it over to Scott. I see he has some thoughts on what you just mentioned.
Yeah, I was gonna I was gonna say immediately when you were talking about. Can you hear me? Hello?
We hear
Oh,
you.
okay. Um, when you were saying, other creators or builders to create their own wearables, I know there's the fashion grant, but what I thought of immediately was Sandstorm, and I've been a judge, I think 3 or 4 different times, um, and they do builds in Decentraland. They do wearables and they do emotes. I've worked uh, directly with a few of the creators. That they're coming from a bunch of different spaces. Sandstorm, is you could probably tell from the name. They started in Sandbox, so they'd have build competitions for Sandbox, and then they expanded to Decentraland. So they already have a system set up, right, where there's a way to vote for something. Um, if you're at all interested in going that route, Rustan, I don't know, maybe you even already know these guys, but connect you with them, and there could be, a Rustan sponsored competition, and you'd have like the top 3 placers get some sort of prize. I just mentioned that because it's already a system that's set up and ready to go. They have a pool of very talented creators. So I think that would be the most equitable way to get the word out. And it would support up and coming creators that are just starting in the space. That's my idea.
Thank you, Scott. That's a great idea. I know of Sandstorm. I was a judge for one of their things, so I'll definitely. That seems like a great idea.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Just off the top of my head as well. Long shot. I'm gonna put you out there. Long shot is founder of Pixel Palette Nation. It's just a collective of artists. Longshot, if you have any 3D artists within your community that love to, design and create would create wearables for our little metaverse, definitely send the message over that way as well. This seems like a good opportunity to even like reach out and get some new creators in the space. Thank you, Rustan, for putting up that mana for future creations.
Yeah, I care very much about Decentraland and the people in it, and I hope positive can come from all this.
Well, we really appreciate you, Rustan. We know that anytime you are around, it's you're doing it because of good vibes. You're doing it because you want to and you believe in it. So yeah, thank you, Rustan. Let's see. Oh man, I see Virtual in the building. Man, it's been so long, Virtual. Welcome and thank you for being here. 044, Brittany, thank you everyone. I see the room is still filling up. Shiny came in. Was Balin here before? Yes, actually, Balin was, but Jim wasn't. Um, I'm not seeing Jim at the build, so he must be a little salty that you took away his grill and replaced it with a bounce house, Canessa.
That's true. There's no grill in here, but I did graffiti the walls. I'm not even sure if he saw it the first time because it kind of hides. But I see that he tagged the back of the wall. It says Jim was here. So
Vandalizer.
vandalizing, yeah. And then I see somebody do like a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Disney Channel mouse. I don't know, like some kind of mouse was spray painted on the back. So a lot of vandals, a lot of vandals in our friend group, apparently. But maybe that's the only way to be. And I see Matt. What the heck is Matt? Do you see that?
Oh, Matt is I've been calling this creation from the biennial thing. This is Great Value Stitch. This is the stitch that you get at Walmart.
Oh. Well,
Walmart brand stitch, yes.
uh, it looks really cool with the wings. And the wings, I hear, have utility. So, way to go. But wait, is our friend here in the space? Because if he doesn't have a Twitter, he can't be here in the space.
I was gonna
Jesus.
I was gonna mention that I had my hand up, but yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to the smart wearable creators in the space. I know that we've talked about it a little bit, but yeah, Derek has been working hard. I'm assuming those are the wings that you're talking about, the Knights of Antrim wings.
Yep.
Yeah, I just like okay, I don't want to spill alpha that like on accident. So yeah, I believe that's coming.
No, they released yesterday. Yeah, smart wearables released yesterday, and they went up in price. So they're now 60 mana. But yeah, there's been a flurry of development in smart wearables. I know that Last Slice has the Neuralink that also hit the market. Fabio Breen has a visor. KJ Walker released the Heart shoes. Um, yeah, there's been a lot of development in that space, and it's actually quite exciting.
Yeah, you guys twisted my arm and forced me to get that Neuralink, because it as I was saying, it doesn't take much. Pure pressure, yeah. Yeah, after I was stood for about 30 seconds. That's better than normal. So I finally succumbed to your peer pressure and got the Neuralink because it's like, okay, if it's made by the Last Slice group, I don't know what's coming, but it's gonna be good. I don't even have to know what it's gonna do. I'm just like, I'll buy it. So that'll be fun. It's like really cool to see utility added after you buy something. It's like a Christmas present that keeps giving.
Yeah, totally. I wonder what will be kind of like the process as far as the Neuralink goes, like whether it's gonna be, because I noticed there's only 100 of them, so that's ultra limited already. Is there gonna be like a Neuralink 2 with like next year's version of like features like this year, the Neuralink comes with a step counter and kind of how they like do in real life. How you doing, Lastrom?
Yeah,
Welcome back.
sorry. I should just stay up here, but I wanted to give other people a chance to speak. And I heard the Neuralink, so I said, okay, let's jump in. Yeah, so if you have any questions, let me know. It's really cool. Long story short, you can update your smart wearable. And when you do that, you just update the GLB, the code, and then it has to go through the review process for the wearable committee. So it's like software updates. We just pushed one and we're waiting approval for the update to have bookmarks. So now you can go to a location, open up your Neuralink phone, click add, give it a name, and at that very spot, high, low, left, right, it will save it. So you could always come back to that, click it, and go right there immediately. Um, so that's awesome. The process, though, we took for the 100 supplies more of an iPhone route. So there'll be other Neuralinks, and they'll all have the same sort of Neuralink software, but there might be different skins or things available to different ones.
I want a purple one.
Well, that would that would be awesome. There's so much development going on. Madamus and I were talking about collabing. Dogman and Josh SRJH and I are working on the Neuralink, but for the builder, the in-world builder, we have something we want to do. Essentially, wouldn't it be cool if you could purchase things in the Neuralink, hint, hint, as a microtransaction? And maybe one of those is a skin, hint, hint, that could be purple or pink, created by yourself, maybe. So there's a lot of potential things that we hope to highlight with the advent of smart wearables.
See, that's why I'm like, I don't even know what this does, but I'm gonna buy it because I just know that it's gonna be good. So that's gonna be so cool. I love it, and thank you. And it is cool that it's a small wearable. Like it doesn't like I don't know. You can wear it with pretty much anything, and it doesn't change your outfit. Like if you want to be like cyberpunk or I don't know, just like any theme, it's gonna work with any outfit. I
Yep.
guess in my opinion. So that's really good
We're
too.
adding a shortcut feature in the next update so that the little button in the bottom right can be hidden or visible based on a shortcut. So you could always have it on, but not the UI, which is nice. And then we're going to bake in the Relaxy Taxi flying into the Neuralink as well. So, we want there's a button for link store. So just what Sinful said, we want the ability for maybe somebody to create a skin for the Neuralink and be able to sell it as an NFT or something that others can then microtransaction purchase within the Neuralink and use. So again, unlocking a different creator economy or different creative, I would say, avenue within Decentraland.
Oh, that's sick. It's like it would be like having like the last slice marketplace via like Neuralink, you can only purchase in
Yep,
world.
it's the link store. There's a button in the Neuralink. It's called the link store.
Oh man. Rip to Canessa's wallet.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Thank you in advance for that.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were still talking. Galaxy, I see your hand came up.
Yeah, okay, I would like to stay, but I really have something to attend to right now. So I'll be taking my leave.
Alrighty. Have a great I believe maybe afternoon, evening for you.
Evening. Yes, evening.
Have a great evening, and thank you for coming up and speaking. It was very nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
Thank you, Galaxy.
So thank you. I would like to say one last thing, please. I I normally hold something on every Wednesday of the week. Healthy Wednesday with Galaxy. That's what it's called. I post or tweet about mental health and general well-being, like healthy tips, healthy life tips, and self-love and things like that. Yeah, because this
Did I rug?
No, I think Galaxy may be rugged.
Oh, okay. So last thing I heard was about a Twitter space where you speak about mental health tips and stuff like that. And then after that, it cut off.
yeah, so I've not started hosting spaces yet, but I just make tweets and threads about mental health and general health tips. So I'm just inviting you all to, you can just, let me say, tune in on anywhere on Wednesdays to watch out for my tweets. Then subsequently, I'll be hosting spaces as well. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Oh man, I just love scrolling through this list and seeing all our friends here, Canessa. I'll let you take over for the rest of the space while I just enjoy this view, bask in it.
I know, and I love seeing like old friends come back. It's been really cool just to see so many friends that I haven't seen for a long time. Like, people are busy. There's summer and vacations, and then some people I haven't seen for a long time. But there's still people on my list like Mahaha and Kim Possible. I want to see them. And Thomasu. Like, I still want to see them in world. I know they're some of them are just kind of here and there, but it is cool to see like Kanar Dazul came back last week, I think. um yeah, so thank you everybody for being here. We totally appreciate you, whether you're here in the space or just like, thank you for being in Decentraland. That too, because I think yeah, it's always nice to have friends around.
Make sure the people that are here right now, if you haven't done so, tweet out the room. Just let other people know that we're here. It's been what, 3 weeks now, 4 weeks now that you guys changed the date. So I was talking to some people earlier this week, and they're like, "Oh, well, we can't do it Wednesday because that's when the CBD Twitter Spaces is." And I reminded them that it had moved to Saturday. So yeah, just anybody here, tweet out the room, let people know that it's happening, and that's all. Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Let's see, who is this awkward silence brought to you by? Dr. Drip. How's that? I don't do it
Doc-
as well as Sinful.
Dr. Drip, of course. The awkward silence brought to you by the Decentraland DAO. There isn't much silence in there, but there is silence here, so that's why it's brought to you by them. Here, sorry, I'm doing a little research here, right quick. That means you take over, Kanessa.
I know. I'm just thinking, okay, what's on the radar? What do we have going on? It's September 23rd. We've got a month. We've got the month of October, and then November is the Metaverse Music Month. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens for that. Lots of it's new. It's everything. Yeah, anytime there's a new change, it'll be interesting. Um, I'm excited that it's going to be spread over not just like a 4-day period where you don't sleep, and then I know sometimes when there's big events like you miss I feel like you miss one because you want to be at something else. So hopefully this will spread it out more. Um, I really hope our community, like, I hope people, I hope we see a lot of projects builds done by people from our community. I think that we will. I just hope that's the case.
Well, that's why the Musica Fest is so cool, because Bay Backner and her, she's behind it, her team, and everyone needs to go apply to be a part of it, musician or artist, because they're like, taking, actual community members, unlike the architect Banale. But so and they're paying people. So if you get selected, like I think it's like $500 for one category and $1,000 for the build for the other ones. So whether you're like building experiences or music, I don't really know how it all comes together, but everyone should go do that.
In reading the documentation for it, and I'll have to ask Bay, but it did not have a limit. There wasn't like only 5 will be awarded for the builds. So I mean, it makes sense to me if you're at all considering doing any kind of a build or a game or anything that has anything to do with music in the Decentraland. It's you'd be silly not to. It's $1,000, so yeah, go for it. Also, I wanted to encourage people to, if you've got a performer, either in the music NFT space or just somebody that you like on TikTok, reach out to them. There's an artist, actually. Billy told me that he'd been following them and listening to their stuff. Her name is Blue. She lives in Hawaii, and she dropped a really sick single, "Sinful I Send It to You." And then when the announcement came out, I'm just like, hey, I'd love to have Blue Music, because that's her Twitter handle. I'd like to have Blue Music. Come on, come this way, come here. Come into Decentraland. She's like, yeah, I don't know how to do it, but I'm totally down for it. So definitely reach out to your DJ and your musical artist friends.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see more like smaller groups or even like niche groups where you're where they might like not appeal to the general giant audience. Like I don't know, like I've got some like steampunk musician bands, and like a steampunk band is very very niche, but like in the right setting, in the right like vibe, the right
Do they
build,
like only
the
play
right
brass
ambiance.
instruments? How does that?
Oh gosh, no. No, like my friend made gosh, he made a freaking accordion that used like an original gramophone. I mean,
Okay,
and
that
then
makes
it's got like a
sense.
gun setting, so it can also shoot bullets while it plays, like Nerf gun. I mean, and like people play the saw. It's a lot of like old timey stuff, but usually there's like some element of like
I mean, it
science
sounds
fiction,
fun.
fantastical stuff. Oh, it's fun because there's no rules. Whatever you want, it just goes. Um, yeah, a lot of like burlesque kind of like I don't know. Yeah, like oh, there's a Abney Park is one of the biggest steampunk bands, and they're pretty awesome. So look up Abney Park, and that's kind of like a snapshot of that. But like it would be cool if niche markets like that came in where they had a build to reflect that, and that's just like one instance. There might be like some super like uber niche like punk rock scene that I don't know of, and
But
it
I
would be
totally
neat
agree that it would be
to
super
get all
cool to
those.
see collabs between like genre artists and builders in the or genre musicians, and then builders in the space to create settings that like complement their music. So it's like because don't get me wrong, True Band Room's cool. Judas's build was awesome. I don't know who's building their next build. I'm sure it'll also be awesome. But it'd be even cooler if every time you went to see the band, it was like a setting that matched their music perfectly.
Yeah, totally. And that's like in my perfect world, I would be creating those builds, and stuff like that for like the to set the mood. But I think it's just a matter of like finding the builder that wants to build for that specific audience. So maybe this year will be like maybe it'll be like the dish the test sample of like, all right, now we know, next year we're gonna like expand upon it. So it'll be cool. I mean, I think now that we kind of know it's going to be spread across the whole month, that's awesome. and we'll see what people come up with.
If only someone would host an event for builders, so that we could find some really cool architects in the space. That would have really been awesome. But despite as advertised, I don't feel like anyone besides me has spent that much time in the architect banale. So I don't think we're finding any great collaborators.
Yeah, the hard part is, architects who are really good, unfortunately, the majority, and this is an overgeneralization, will not be motivated unless there's a financial component, because they don't probably understand the metaverse. So, I've met with some award-winning architects in Los Angeles and trying to explain them the metaverse and get them in, and they got into Mona, but they can't get into Decentraland conceptually in their head. So it's hard, to explain a value proposition to them. Say, hey, come build this for free or for $500, and you'll get exposed to 38 users to see your architecture. We're in a hard spot right now. But that is a great idea, to highlight architecture while building amazing things for the music festival. But I think that's where the problem is.
Well, I guess like just like in my mind, because I mean specifically steampunk, like it's like music, it's a vibe, it's the setting around you, it's what you wear, like it is a totally different world. And so I guess so many other genres you can, like if it's punk rock, well you can go to like the inner city and it's like punk, I mean it's not like you have to transport yourself to this alternative reality to go and be a part of it. But it I don't know, like I think when you're part of an experience and you don't leave that experience, it just makes it more immersive. And so like I would totally be a proponent for that, or like advocate for that we would have music and the build and even the wearables that you wear in world. Like how far can we push the envelope for like completely immersive, like Angzar? I mean you're kind of doing it there where it's like you're the clothes, the wearables, the scene that you see, the music in the background. And I think well, I'm a huge Disney fan, and Disneyland is a place that does that so perfectly that you don't even realize, like you're walking along and the music is playing and the music matches the theme to that area. And what I think a lot of people don't realize is like the ground that you walk on actually changes in your, like when you walk from Fantasyland to Adventureland and then Adventureland to Frontierland, the ground that you walk on also changes. So the texture that your feet is touching, so that you're completely immersed. And then there's places where even like they're piping in crickets, So when you're in like Grizzly River Run, you're hearing like the ambiance of the outdoor and woodpeckers and crickets and the wind blowing and water in the distance. Like that's not accidental. You're in Southern California. Like it is 100% thought out. So I think that the more that we can do that in our builds, like whether it's, for music festival or anything, like I think we just, I don't know, like I guess that's what the inner dialogue, like how can I push the limits of what I do? And so we'll see that someday here. We'll have some cool shit, cool immersive build contest that is like how well can you transport somebody to like a different time and place.
You know what else cool is happening in October? Doki auctioning off some one-of-one wedding attire. Who doesn't love a good Doki one-of-one? So few of us, because there's so few that exist. So this is your opportunity. But you have to be in her Discord to do it. That's the important alpha. So join Doki's Sweaty Bedroom. That is the name of her Discord server. And this shill has been brought to you by She Made Me a Mythic Beard for my birthday last year.
I don't like that room. It's so sweaty in there. Every time I like touch something, I just like. Oh. No, I like Doki's Discord channel. She's freaking hilarious.
No, Doki is a genius and hilarious, because the fact is like if you ever like catch Doki in World not capturing photos for like her like promotional material, like she is walking around as like a bald fat man in a tracksuit, and there's just something so amazing to me that like the person who has brought everyone like beautiful hair and like faces with like more than just the like bland personality of the basic is like just like I'm just bald, got my tracksuit on, leave me alone. It's just like, yes, I don't know. There's something so pure about it because she just doesn't like it doesn't because it doesn't come off like she's like being performative or trying. It's just like, you know, she just is. It's nice.
You're mentioning the one-of-one reminded me that I think is it Dapcraft has put up for auction one of their, I think it's a mythic dress.
It's a one of one. It's a unique.
Okay. Okay. So you already know, Vanessa. I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
I'll
I
let
don't
you
know.
talk about it.
Oh, well, I was gonna say it's Fancy in the crowd. We don't want to say anything, so I think Fancy has their eyes on it. But yeah, it's a really cool unique that was made by Japcraft for Metaverse Fashion Week, and I mean I don't want to take what you were saying, but I just know that it was unique, one of one, and oh it's being auctioned off, and then the proceeds are also going to KJ Walker to help her just kind of recover and get more, just rebuild from the ground up. So that is really awesome. I don't have the details of any other alpha on it. I just know that it's being auctioned off and the Fancy's looking at it. So we didn't have this conversation here.
Yeah, that's all I was thinking about. I mean, there's the Doki there's the Dapcraft auction. Yeah, there's some talented people.
I don't
in
remember
the
if this is public information though, but with the Doki auction, if you win those, everyone who bids will get a wearable. Supposedly, I mean, I suppose if she reaches like more than 100, maybe she'll run out of whatever the thing she'll give everyone. But also, the winners of the one of ones will get like airdropped like men's. I think she'll be making like men's wedding attire mythics or something that she'll like then give one of each to the winners of the auction. So, you know, just because I mean it's hard to out shine both Dapcraft and benefited KJ Walker. And I'm pretty sure Doki would want everyone to spend their money supporting KJ Walker, making whole again because she's as big a fan as anyone. But
I mean, if you're gonna spend your fiat, if you're gonna spend your money in Decentraland, now is the time to do it because what is it at 29 cents per mana?
Yeah, I agree that assuming you're as much if you're like a DCL maxi enough to be here on a Saturday, like this is find the artists who are like still here busting their ass. Like those are the people that like everyone's gonna celebrate as like in the next bull run. Will they'll just be like, oh my god, the Cosmo Medicis will be like Kinessa and Fancy's backpacks. So there's like, I can't believe you have these grails. And I
Hey,
guess Morph too, his
when we
backpack
get
would be good.
multi-sig wallets for wearables, I mean, Fancy and I, yeah, we talk a lot about that. When multi-sig wallet, and then when the wearable rental system that doesn't exist, but I know it will be invented, when that comes into fruition, then we'll be
Wearable
having fun.
rentals will have to be a thing just because of the games. I feel like because of the way like games work and like the fact that there's just it's so wearable based. I think it does make sense that you'll get to be able to, and I mean who doesn't want to look fly, but like I don't want to buy an L1 OG mythic like the Fox hat, but there might be a time I'd want a photo shoot in it.
Well, isn't that interesting how
Well,
like this is all great stuff, right? Like this is all amazing stuff. We're all talking here wanting this. I was on a call with the foundation yesterday. They told me what they're delivering at the first of next year. No one is asking for this. So it's just hilarious, the disparity between what we are all talking about wanting and it's not getting implemented, maybe slowly, like trickle by drop. But what the foundation is actually working on is nowhere close to this.
Well, you see, they used to hang out with us, but they don't hang out with us anymore.
Yeah.
Nah, just kidding. Maybe some of them are hiding in the crowd right now. Like, don't fucking notice me, please.
Well, for instance, like the way the contracts are written, the smart contracts. Not to get too technical, but there isn't an option for renting. There's either an owner or a deployer. There is no like owner / deployer, if you will, right? Like a renter. So all of the contracts would have to get upgraded. But that's a great task versus what I heard yesterday.
I mean, you could give us a little something to look forward to. I'm sure your NDA is expired.
No, it's not an NDA, and I'm not trying to ruin it. I think it's just from you take a step back and you wonder what is going on behind the scenes and like what we want as a community, and that crosses over with the DAO. And you can scream and scream and scream for all this stuff, but I don't know if it'll happen. And I think we need to make sure that
even
we get
if
that in front of them.
Even if we try to like come forward and make the change happen, and I'm thinking specifically of the Hyde player that you and KJ worked on earlier this week, spent a lot of time working on. We're still handicapped. We're still unable. You know, I would have thought that the 6 hours that you and KJ each spent would have been able to, you know, create a functioning, at least a portable experience as an MVP, right? So we could take that and say, this is what the community needs. Here's an example of it, and still no. I mean, that was frustrating as hell.
Yeah, we're still working on it. I know
Wait,
Alpha has
can you?
something, but KG and I are actually working on it as we speak. I'm waiting to get picked up for a wedding. That's why I'm sitting here on a Saturday. But we almost might have an MVP available. So just stay tuned.
Well, that's amazing, and that's fantastic. I'm just thinking back to when, you know, the first iteration, trying to use the existing block and mute feature, that didn't work. So then you tried something else, and then it worked on your local machine, but it didn't work in world. It just it's frustrating that either the documentation doesn't exist, or, you know, it's like there's so many handicaps that are put in our way, and it's, I think, due to inattention, or just lack of curiosity from a select few people. Is like, oh, I wonder if anybody's really trying to do anything like this, or I wonder what people are actually doing, and what I don't know. I don't know what the holdup is, but there are numerous roadblocks that we need to get rid of.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, go ahead, Scott. Were you? I thought your mic go on. Were you going to continue?
Sorry if I got my mic. I was done. Sorry.
Ooh! Did anyone see the update about how the platform category is over by like almost $200,000 because of a bug?
Yep, we
Or was
addressed
I?
that a little bit earlier, but and there's now a proposal that has a link to kind of give you a lot of details about the many options that were presented to us.
I say just ignore it, since I think technically we've saved that much money in like grants that were like passed in Q1, but then like immediately revoked in Q2 for being in the wrong category. I think we saved. We've got that. We got savings, and platform is the category everyone's like, that's what we should be spending the most on. I think that's my position. I'm not 100% sure, but
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome. I see a lot of new friends, old friends, hands up. I want to go to Mellasin. You've been here a while. Good morning, good afternoon. How are you?
Hey, Jim, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How are you today?
Okay, I'm doing fine. It's actually it's actually a good one to join in tonight's space. This is actually my first time joining the decentralized community space actually, and I didn't want to break the conversation, so that's why I kind of kept note. Um, I'm a I'm a writer at Bankless Style and a BD apprentice at the relationship, and I've not really given my attention to the metaverse, but I think joining tonight's space has really opened up my eyes to a lot of things, and uh, I need to pick it up again because I actually started learning how to draw using most of the digital tools. So hearing from people that have already been in the system for a while now kind of gave me some motivation. And I really commend the work you guys are doing. I've really been hearing about Decentraland since the past 1 year, and it's really an awesome work that you guys are doing.
Well, thank you. It's this specific space is just a unofficial group of anybody who wants to come in and talk, and um, so it's certainly open to everybody. Decentraland, you know, whether you're a writer or a builder or a coder or a musician or just a party goer or a DJ, like there's room for everybody. So we host this space every Saturday at this time. So we're glad to have you here. Do you have any questions? There's a great wealth of information and knowledge here. So if you have any questions about Decentraland, please feel free to ask, and we'll try to answer them.
Okay, I think I've got one question that like how can I get involved? Like if I want to contribute to the community, I'm actually a writer and a business. I'm a BD. So if I want to contribute to the community, how can I get involved?
Hmm. One of the things that I like to say to new users is basically look around you and see what is needed, and that is always like a very very easy way to find like some sort of way to contribute. Here's an example. Like we're hanging out on the Decentraland, and this is just purely an example. And I noticed that there isn't a Decentraland blog. So hey, it's an opportunity, and the best thing about Decentraland is that you don't need any permission.
Speaking of the Decentraland blog, because there is one, their last blog was called "What Will You Do in Decentraland?" It was on the 20th they posted it, and it's got like kind of a good top-down list of things you can do. Like I don't think it's perfect. There's areas that I would nitpick, but like like everything from just explore and eat the apple, so to speak. Be a community who just uses the product for be a wearable designer, emote creator, experienced game developer, metaverse architect. They also have Web3 consultant as an option, event planner, entrepreneur. They've and then amongst those like bullet heads, they have like kind of like the best, what they have identified as the best tools and avenues to go about kind of getting involved in that. So for once, they have created some, I think, good content that can kind of help a person answer that question of like how can I help? And then of course you can always join the CBD Discord. Those are some of the nicest, most helpful folks generally.
Hey Jared, if you want to DM me the link to that post, I could put it up as a pinned tweet and stuff like that. And I would like to pass it over to Malloy. He's been here for a little bit with his hand up. Just
Everyone should go check out his stream because he's been killing it on the Kick. And I
wait,
don't know if he's
Malloy?
been getting any. Yeah, he's
What?
been every day for the last like 4 days. He's been posting about how he's been making these gloves. I haven't gone to watch because I don't watch streams because I'm easily distracted. But every time at the end of the day, he posts his updates, and you're just like, damn, that looks dope. I sure wish people who are as good as he is at his craft were just giving away their knowledge for free.
Malloy, what the fuck?
Yo,
Why haven't you told me about this?
yo, how's it going? Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Cheers, cheers for that. I had a point. I had a point I wanted to bring up. I was hoping to it was aimed towards Lustrom, and also everyone. But basically I wanted to know about, from a developer standpoint, community standpoint, there's a big feature that I really wish was in Decentraland, and I wanted to kind of get people's opinions on things about this. And it's for the longest time when I first joined the space and I was looking at the SDK and stuff. My background, I'm not a programmer, I'm an artist, and I work a lot in game development. So I'm more, I would say, I'm an all-rounder. I do a bit of programming, but I more enjoy like the designer aspect. I love design, so combining, the artwork that I'm able to make, put it into the engine, all of that kind of stuff. And one of the things that I kind of hit a snag with is that in very traditional game engines, or like the standard flow of data within game development, is that you're able to access everything from like everything to do with your 3D geometry. You can access the UVs via code, you can access vertices via code, you can basically manipulate everything. And one of the biggest kind of frustration or kind of hurdles to developing what I would like to develop inside Decentraland, and I'm sure it's the same for other developers, which is why I wanted to have a chat with Lestrong quick about this, is basically opening up GLTF files with the SDK so that you can access UV channels. You can access, reassigning different textures to materials and then redefining conditionals based on those materials, and just basically exposing data. I feel like I'm just blethering on a whole bunch of like technical mumbo jumbo, but essentially, long story short, it would just mean that we wouldn't have to submit multiple GLB files. Say, like if you're making a smart wearable, you could rely on the vertex color information and have it overlay like a single kind of albedo that is a grayscale, and then you could use that to tint, or you could have your own tint masks. Or another opportunity would be to create your own visual effects by using scrolling UVs on transform animated meshes, and you would be able to assign the timing of all of these things via the code and everything else like that. And for me, that just being able to access all of the different data of your 3D assets so that they're manipulable by the SDK is far more important, I think, for designers and developers, just to be able to produce the content that can be used for marketing. Like we can't do fancy visual effects at the moment, and we can't do, like, I'm trying to work on a smart wearable at the moment, and I'm trying to find a way where I can have up to 8 different colors, for the main thing, and I don't want to have to keep changing the texture or making sure that, because you can only fit within 2 megabytes, etc. I feel very limited. So I wanted to ask, any developers in the community what they felt about, I guess, exposing the GLB files for the SDK as a priority, and whether it's worth, bringing a, I don't know what you call it, like a document that explains all of these things for the DAO so that we can put it forward to the foundation. But yeah, thanks for listening to me, y'all. Let me
Take it away, Lastrom. I see your hand is up.
What's up, Malloy? Yeah, good speaking with you. I'm not sure if we've ever spoken, so nice to hear you. But it is a bummer, and I'll keep it short. You can't do that right now. It's a definite platform decision, and I think some of that is going to be unlocked again in the future, probably Q1 of 2024. I don't know what capacity, but if you do go to the web builder, their SDK 7 version, I guess, or whatever, has an option for like mesh characteristics. So it's interesting to see that. But yeah, it is a bummer. I think it's because of the design decisions with their rendering engine they've made is where we're at today. And I'll just say that there's going to be big changes coming in Q1 that I don't know all the details, but I would love, again, we don't know. This is where transparency comes in, and your comment would be great to them to take into consideration. Would be, what are they working on? What is this included or not? So I don't know, but there are huge rendering changes coming at the beginning of the year. And from a developer, Malloy, it is very frustrating. I can't even access the chat box in Decentraland, and I can't even access. Scott was mentioning the mute list. When you mute or block somebody, we don't even have callbacks for that. So there's a lot of things that happen in the Explorer that don't get tied back to the SDK, and I just scratch my head.
It's crazy when you like forget which browser you usually log in with, and I like go to Chrome and I log in. I'm just like, why is this what everything looks like? You're like, why are my wearables different and my wheel not right? I'm like, is that really all saved locally?
Take it away, Malloy.
Yo, yeah, cheers for that, Lestrom. Yeah, I just kind of find it, I feel like if we had access to that stuff, we would see. It sounds pretty, what would you call it? Superficial, but we would see a lot more, like, I think, appealing visual creations that we'd be able to use as good PR. Like we'd see like a lot more crazy particle effects that aren't, you can say like it. I think it's based on interpretation for like who you speak to and people's experience. Because if you say visual effects or particle effects, I think a lot of people think, oh yeah, like a mathematical kind of like spawn that will spawn a whole bunch of billboard planes, and that's kind of what you get, and then that has its own optimization rules and everything else like that. But there are lots of smoke and mirror ways that you can make very optimized VFX for like, explosions, scaling mesh transforms, scrolling UVs, all of that kind of stuff. Kind of like Zelda, any, like very nice stylized things that would fit the aesthetic of Decentraland and could be used to help enhance. I think that's the biggest thing. If I think it's the word. The word is juice. In game development, it's called juice, and we want to be able to bring as much juice to what creators are able to show off, because it kind of feels like we're limited in that capacity. Nice explosions, nice screen shake. We've got the camera stuff coming through, which looks awesome. But then, yeah, just the ability to color tint your materials and other things like that would be genuinely awesome. So um, you said it would be worth reaching out. I've had a chat with Nico and I've had a chat with Martin, and I'm wondering whether it would be worth. I'm kind of busy at the moment creating content for the tutorial series. Thanks for the shout out, by the way, Jared. And I will be streaming more content as well. For, like, if you want to come along and watch the process. I've always been a little bit self-conscious about doing this because I just can't help but feel it's boring. Like, like watching someone sit there and just sculpt and like do all the retopology and stuff like that. But if you are interested in that kind of stuff,
It's
I'll
not
drop a
boring at
link.
all. I gotta say,
Honestly,
it's fucking amazing.
Okay, cheers.
To be fair, I once heard Scott describe collaboratively writing an article about building as exciting and fun. So I think he is very much enthused about all things building in Decentraland. So
awesome. All
but
right,
you have a really
yeah.
nice voice, so I feel like it's very probably works out. A balance. It's like ASMR, just like.
I'll drop a link. I'll drop a link after dinner. Yeah, I just wanted to ask again, Lestrom, whether I should put together like a visual aid document to kind of help.
I mean, I think we all need to come together, but we do this all the time, every Wednesday, every now Saturday, and the foundation's nowhere to be found. I mean, there's a DAO town hall, maybe some foundation members join, but we don't know what they're building, and they don't know what we want to be built, and that is why we continually bump our heads into year 3, now almost year 4, of like, what the hell is getting built? I mean, why is it such a secret that they can't say, here is what we hope to have or will have, or even thinking about putting in a new rendering engine or in a new SDK7, right? I mean, that should come from them, right? Or where is there saying, hey, DAO, town hall, community, let's have a platform town hall. Here's the foundation. Martin, like Shibuya, like Shibu and Nico Earnshaw and Aga, everybody, like, here are the people making it happen. Here's the community that wants it to happen. Put them all together and make something happen. I don't see why does that not happen? It's just crazy.
Yeah, cool. I'll leave it at that, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here and asking the question. I want to say hello to Longshot. I did see that he came up to speak and has been in the shadows for a little bit. How you doing today, man?
What is going on, my friend? Thank you for bringing me back up. I rugged in and out, and like when you brought me up the first time, I couldn't hear anybody. It was a mess. But yeah, I just wanted to come up and say what's up to everybody and give a shout out to Sinful for coming into our spaces and really kind of getting my mind thinking more along Decentraland's metaverse. Decentraland, it was one of the very first metaverse I ever came across when I first got into the space a few years ago. And actually, one of the very first coins I ever bought, I think I bought it on on Coinbase actually. I haven't really ventured as much as I would like to into it, at least with my community. But we are looking to expand. Currently, we're mostly just on Tezos, the Tezos blockchain. But we would like to, move and bring our artists to new opportunities in the space. And I mean, this is definitely a big one. And we do we're more like NFT art, like physical art, I guess, digital art based. But we do have singers, we do have musicians and songwriters and stuff like that as well as graphic and metaverse builders, people on Unity and stuff. So always looking to connect and meet with like-minded people in the space. So thanks for putting this on and bringing me back up like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, hey, we're here every Saturday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. So, yeah, Canessa and I will either one of us will be hosting it. So, yeah, keep an eye out. And yeah, a lot of us like to get together and talk the Central Land related topics here. This is kind of like a great way to a great place to say hello and introduce yourself, and definitely, I'm definitely looking, trying to brainstorm ways personally to incorporate Pixel Palette Nation to like the Central Land. Like there's definitely a bunch of galleries on the Central Land and stuff like that. But I feel like the concept of gallery, it has someone put up a gallery and kind of like the concept has not expanded into an experience of, like, let's say whoever you're highlighting, create like an experience around them. So lots to explore on that aspect, as well as like, even I know that, you know artists amaze me. For example, like I have a good friend named SRJH. He is a career tattoo artist, but like, just like came into Web3 and was like, yo, what's this Blender stuff, and then just started doing some Blender stuff, and before you know it, he's bringing like his tattoos into the Decentraland, into the metaverse, like making them into a wearable that people can purchase. And yeah, so there's lots of ways that artists can kind of incorporate and make their digital footprint on this metaverse platform.
No, absolutely, man. There's so many avenues and there's so much creativity out there for people to explore, especially when you start talking about immersive experiences and things like that. And I mean, yeah, there are a few other platforms doing similar things, but it would be very cool to, for something as big as Decentraland, especially, if there was like, some sort of dedicated featured place for artists, building or creating on the platform. I think that would be fantastic, to really see the founders or the main community kind of get behind it as well. But yeah, no, dude, the tattoo thing, that is amazing. That's so cool. Yeah, no, there's people always doing innovative things in the space. I actually ran into one guy a few weeks ago who was he was a furniture maker, and he sold NFTs of pictures and blueprints of his furniture. And if you picked up the NFT, he actually sent you a piece of that furniture built by hand by him, and ended up doing rather well for himself. I actually think he ended up opening an IRL business and started doing things like that. But he also brought it, kind of like you said, the Blender thing, to where it's like you can put these in different metaverses, using different files and stuff. It's all very interesting, man. And I'm gonna be honest, the coding side of it, definitely over my head. Right, right. I do the community side of things. That's what the team's for. But yeah, no, always looking for the new opportunities, and especially thinking outside the box with things. Can definitely lead to good things.
Yeah, I mean, looking forward to what PPN could bring, and definitely, that we definitely gotta hop on a call and see when we can get you on Beyond the NFT. I know I was trying to get the ball rolling on that, but just we couldn't connect this week. But on a future date, we will definitely get you on.
Yeah, man, absolutely. It's tough. I'm in the US and then my co-founder is in Japan. So the 15-hour time difference is kind of a pain. But yeah, no, if we could plan it like a week in advance or something, I'm sure we'll be able to set something up.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you for coming up. If you have any questions about the Central Land or any of the mumbo jumbo we're talking about, like, definitely, like, ask your questions. We're here, to answer them.
Oh, absolutely, brother. And once again, thank you for bringing me up. Nice to meet everybody. And looking forward to coming back next week. I'll be sticking around. I got to run out and, and get a haircut right now. But I'll definitely be listening on the back end. Appreciate you all, and I hope you all have a great.
Have a great Saturday and take care. Bye. Let's see. Let's see. I know I see your hand up, Existence, but I just wanna tap on Madam S's shoulder here a little bit. I know he came up before you, but has just been also in the shadows. How you doing, Madam S?
Hey, what's up? Good to hear everyone. Uh, yeah, I came up and then my tacos got delivered, so it was good timing. I was just kind of eating until now. um, but yeah, I just wanted to say what's up. Been in a bit of a dev hibernation mode in my dev cave, working on a lot of stuff, more things than I can even remember. But definitely a pretty cool time with all the smart wearables. The Neuralink is going to be awesome. We definitely have a lot of cool ideas. We'll probably see the Buddy Finder idea maybe integrate its way into Neuralink, some stuff with the closet. So definitely a lot of cool stuff coming up there. I just wanted to clarify for the Metaverse Music Month. The bids are for there's 5 2x2 parcels available and the $1,000 bounty. So there'll be 5 selected that will get a spot like in the actual festival grounds. So I was gonna apply for that. Be cool to, if we have a spot, integrate some CBD stuff, do some seed-based stuff. So hopefully that works out. But even if not, I think we should still maybe produce some CBD stuff, maybe like another Stars District area, really like make that like into like a cool festival grounds, and try to figure some stuff out for that. So I figured I'd mention that with everyone here. If anyone wants to start planning for that, that would be pretty cool. Um, maybe if Unknower nudge nudge can get the SDK7 VLM stuff in time, maybe we can swap out things pretty easily. But we'll see what we can do. I know the foundation events, they kind of want you to have your builds ready like a couple days in advance, and then you don't really touch them, so everything stays optimized. But if we have some dynamic ways of switching that out, it'd be cool to have a whole month where we can throw a bunch of stuff there. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming up, Madamus. Whatever. It's always funny when our good, talented friends kind of like drop off the radar and then they emerge with like something that just blows your mind. It's pretty awesome to see. Like so, when you when you fully emerge from the your dev hibernation, I'm sure that it's gonna be something totally dope, as it always is. So cool, cool, cool. I love what you're saying about the CBD. I know everybody's busy, with time, but if yeah, hopefully maybe just drop a message in the CBD general and then like maybe we can get the conversation going from there.
Yeah, it would be nice to have some community representation. We'll see who ends up getting selected for the actual plots, but I know sometimes we feel left out, but we'll see what happens. And yeah, should definitely do our own thing. And I have, a lot of the code we can probably reuse from all the previous builds that we can kind of piece together and keep the workload down and make use of that 3 or 4 days of straight coding on all of those things that we did previously. So now that we have the code, and hopefully it's easier this time around, we'll figure something out.
Very exciting, and yes, thank you so much for thinking about the CBD. I really appreciate that. And yeah, definitely let's stay in touch. And I mean, any way that I can help you, and or yeah, whatever it may be, just hit me up, dude. Um, let's see. Let's pass it over to One Existence, and after One Existence, over to Jairus.
Thank you, thank you. I lost audio briefly when Lostrom and Malloy were talking about, and I heard the builder come up. So I wanted to say something about that. But real quick, I also want to shout out Meta Rides, who's in the room. They are one of them that is behind that project. I got to meet IRL. Um, they were actually one of the very first ones that I ever got to meet in the space IRL in Vegas last week at the Breathe convention. So that was pretty cool. And they actually have a racing game out. I think it may be still closed testing, but that'll be out soon. Check them out if you guys aren't familiar. Anyway, as far on the web builder specifically, as far as I know, I'm probably one of the most uh, biggest critics of it. But I wanted to let you know that the foundation, the people behind these, they are listening. They are quiet about it, evidently, but they've reached out looking for people to interview or talk to about the camera and the web builder. And I actually spent probably a good hour with Mira, I think it is, from the foundation, who specifically is part of the team working on the web builder. Um, I gave her as much feedback as I could as far as problems I was having, things I wanted to see. But I can put you in touch with her if you need me to. Anybody who has who would have more. I'm an inexperienced
Are you
builder.
referring to Mayara?
Yes, Mayara. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Um, but so I may have missed several important things that people would like to see or are frustrated about. But they are working on it. They're trying to prioritize everything and get it out as quickly as they can. So they say they are listening. Again, as I said, it's probably not well known, but they are doing it and they are trying to um, get more ideas of what we want. But then also it came up when Longshot, with all these smart wearables and stuff, I would love to see, um, so maybe a little retro with a Walkman or a boombox, but can actually play NFT. It's in line with Shelly Band's wanting her jukebox, a portable radio that we could have would be pretty cool.
Lastrim's already been working on
Awesome.
the
Yeah, I was going to
Audius.
say that.
Awesome. Okay, and then I want to shout out a couple wearable creators. One is in the room. Well, one is in the room. One isn't. But they are the first two that I ever came across that actually had the wearable, which is also available in real life. And I am right now wearing a Ardent Real skater cap and the Roots sweatshirt that Cyrus, aka Seed, created. And I have both of them as a wearable in Decentraland and am wearing them both right now.
Doesn't Dr. Drip have an
I
item that
think
you
so.
can
I
mint?
think he does too.
Yeah, it's $69
Yeah,
multicolored. Yeah, I've got one.
Yeah,
excellent.
that was a series that like kind of altcoin radio was trying to kind of start. I'm guessing in hopes of actually making it into a Walkman radio, but then the smart wearable dreams kind of diminished back then.
Speaking of altcoin radio, when we were talking about the builder, every build he ever did, and I mean, I don't know if any of you ever went to any of his, but like his New Year's Eve event was epic. Like, there's some great videos of like jumping through the rabbit hole into the smoke, but like he literally made everything he ever did in that builder, and it amazes me because I love Dom. I wouldn't describe Dom as the most patient person. That wouldn't be like the first word that pops into my mind when I think of Dom. And when I think of the builder, I think of like, man, you need to be the most zen and patient person in the world to like create the like masterpieces that he did using that chisel and rock.
He was like among the elite with like building on that builder, like, and he would actually be getting work and stuff like that. People, his builds were
Yeah,
had a
like
demand.
yeah, go to like Nakatomi Plaza. I'm pretty sure that both has a POI and still exists on the map. Like that, like that was built with it. I think he did like Cromuland too, like the original like versions of that. Maybe I don't know if that might be. He might have just borrowed it once for. But either way, like he did some super dope shit using that builder. So like, while I agree, the builder needs to be innovated and made more palatable to people because I can't use it without like just I get like motion sick. The controls are so bad with the camera in that thing. But like there are people who've used it to make some pretty dope shit. So it wasn't a total waste of time and money.
Wait, you can't make fun of the builder. I love the builder. Like I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do come like next year when the builder is archaic. I might have to change.
Well, hopefully they just release a version that like builds on what you know and love, but is even more intuitive and easy to use, and like doesn't have those little quirks that you've come to master, but also deep down you're like, why can't I use this arrow key more effectively?
It will.
I don't know.
It will.
Until we can rotate easily, I'm I don't know.
Well, good thing that
I'm
you
just
have.
gonna fork Decentraland so I can stay in the builder forever.
Well, good thing we have 3 people on the call that are working on an in-world builder.
As long as I can just use my tools forever and never grow and change, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, odd
Now
job,
remember,
Scott
don't vote to
Madamus.
revoke the last 2 platform grants.
Yeah, well, it's hard. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a whole nother topic for sure. But we would love to maintain our grant in whatever result happens. But we think we're building a piece of technology that will be useful for everybody. So if you
Well,
have questions,
if
please.
anything, we should be allowed to like pick which platform grants we revoke, because I do feel like there were definitely way less legit platform grants throughout the quarter than
I mean,
I,
maybe yes
than
and
that
no,
one.
but I think we should have an option that says like, what do you think? Not just say, hey, here's what us as strategy people or who I don't know who came up with that list of 4, the grant support squad. There was no collaboration.
No, well, that's the governance that. It's easy to get Gino and Zeno confused, but unless I'm mistaken, that was submitted by Gino of the governance squad. That's the name, who just does the coding. Despite the very official sounding name, like they're responsible for governance, they're not. They just program the tools used for governance.
I want to add too. In the last week on the builder, they added the ability to add a mesh collider along with some other features.
Hey, Lastrum. So, I mean, in-world builder. So, does this also mean that we're gonna be able to fly as we're building on
There is a
Decentraland?
Prometheus mode, yes. But
Why would you call it Prometheus? Of all the flying things in
no,
in
I mean
history
it's
and
called God
legend,
mode. It's called
the
God
one that
mode and Carpenter
oh,
mode.
okay. I was say the one that
We
falls out of the
internally
sky.
it's called Prometheus, but the in-world builder is going to be hosted on a world server. So imagine, long story short, world server has a bucket of Legos, all of the assets. Everybody goes to this world server and chooses their assets. You'll be able to pick your scene manually. Like you drop it in the world server HQ, and it's a blank canvas of Decentraland. And if you want to build a scene, instead of typing in 2 by 2, you go walk on the parcels that you want and reserve them for your scene. And then you can start building from the Legos. And then maybe someone else reserves the plot next to you, and you see them start building as well. And you can build in Carpenter mode, which Madamus has some cool stuff on, where the objects are in front of you and you place them, or in God mode from high above, and you're looking at your scene in sort of an isomorphic view as you're flying on a floating platform, or you are flying and hovering and placing objects.
Okay, when Sims mode, where I can just stay in this world and create my own Decentraland without any of the drama of the DAO. I can make my own AI DAO. I want to fork my own tiny little Decentraland where I can just play God.
That wouldn't keep you out.
No, but it would give me a place to like take out my aggression. Like, Lord like comes and just starts copy pasting things to me. I can just go into my little world and strike lightning down on some like AI little animations that have been generated from the Angzar cloning machines.
Oh my god! I mean, Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe Worlds is is a alternative. Go ahead, Madamus. I see your mic
I
unmuted.
think we'll also add Kinessa mode. So all the whatever she needs to feel comfortable in there, we'll add a special mode for you, Kinessa. Don't worry. And thank you, Learning Distance, for the support of the root long sleeve purchase. It really means a lot to us.
I love the idea of Kinessa mode where it just reduces the abilities.
I think I would have like lightning, thunder, swords, axes, and donuts. Like free donuts for everybody, but there's just got to be this kind of like rage, like just yeah. I don't know.
Axes and thunders and fires and stuff.
Yeah, everything burns, but then it just comes back in flowers because I'm like, I love everybody, but sometimes I do want to watch the world just like burn for a second, just like a little bit. And
do not use that expression when talking to Gino. One time we were talking in DMs and I used the expression, I just want to see it like all burned to the ground. And apparently that expression does not translate to Spanish very flatteringly because he was just like, I don't want to talk to you if you want to see the thing I've spent the years of my life working on burned to the ground. And I'm like, oh, man, I'm too angry right now or too worked up to explain metaphor. But anyway,
well, yeah,
just so you know.
like I'm thinking like the phoenix, like the phoenix bird, where it can only whatever reproduce, I guess, but like it can only come back stronger after it is burned. So I don't know. I think
rising stronger from its ashes. Totally,
it's an existential debate, I guess, but no, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
no, I
thank
solely
you,
support. I just a cautious warning. Don't say that to Gino. He doesn't like it.
I think maybe a PSA for like a lot of things that don't translate. I was saying this morning already in the space, like how wonderful it is that we're a global audience, but like I just learned this week that like we use the word goat and like, oh, you're the goat, like the goats are here, and I guess somebody unfollowed somebody, did not talk to them for a while because it does not translate to their language very well, and they thought it was a huge insult, and so instead of like being
instead of being the greatest of all time, they're just like,
oh, they're like, oh, like this person's bad. So just I don't know, I guess PSA, like I've learned that the hard way when I've like said something that I thought would be really, or just like innocuous, like the word buster in the English language also sounds like another word in the English language, and I like totally hurt my friend until I had to like try to explain what is Buster, and I'm like, I don't even know Buster. Hey Buster, like I mean it's like Buster Brown from the 50s, but we have these little things, these little parts of our language. Anyway, I digress, but yeah, we're a global audience. Just we'll make a list of all the things that we're like, oh, maybe that doesn't come across as well. But thank you, Madamus, for thinking about Kinessa mode.
Yeah. Go ahead, Madamus.
Yeah, we'll make it so when you swap a scene on your parcel, the unloading scene burns down or something, and then the other one spawns for you.
Yeah, totally. I love it. I mean, I think like our imaginations, it's just going to continue. Like we're going to go wild with each advancement of new tech.
So I do want to pass the mic over to Jarvis. He's been very patiently waiting while we all just fantasize. How are you, Jarvis?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. Happy to be here. Jim, how's everybody doing? I also want to give a big shout out to Canessa. Thank you for the wearables. I figured out how to apply it to myself now. Really love the AI puffer jacket, the one from Tommy Hilfiger. Yeah, really appreciate that. Yeah, I just mentioned that I needed some new wearables and you just showed some love. I also like to show some love for the Bankless DAO community. I see we have a few members from Bankless DAO here. So I want to also give a shout out to Mellison, Love T. Appreciate that you guys came out to join the space on a Saturday as well. I work with these guys pretty often within Bankless DAO and Relationships Guild. And also over there, we just started a blog article and we also host demos, live demos within our Discord server. And I see some interesting things coming out of Decentraland. Well, what I noticed today during the space is the DCL Neuralink. Would love to perhaps write a blog article on this to bring more awareness to our community. And also would love to host a demo with you guys in the server if anyone would like to present one, just to show what's going on in Decentraland, how to get involved, how to play the game. We recently had a demo about Abagachi, so they showed us all the updates that's going on with their metaverse, and then we had a demo with what's called Meta Factory, which is like one of the most popular like metaverse wearable communities, and they spun out of Meta Cartel. It was a really good learning experience, and they showed us how to create wearables. But I would like to show like how people can interact with Decentraland, especially since this was the first metaverse that I ever experienced. When I first experienced Decentraland, it was sometime in like early 2022, and at that time I didn't have a powerful laptop, so I had to create a virtual machine. That was the first time I experienced that, just so I could play Decentraland. Yeah, I remember having a space with the founder of Akash, and their decentralized cloud. Yeah, they're working on building a decentralized cloud, and I brought that up then. And thought it was pretty unique to, in order to like create a virtual machine. The whole purpose of it, for me at least, was to play Decentraland. I really wanted to experience the game. So, would love to also collaborate with you guys in any way or bring value back to the community, just to show some more love to Canessa. Really appreciate the support there, and yeah, I would just like to show some love to you guys and host some events. We could also do an AMA on the Bankless DAO Twitter if that's something that's cool with you. And also would like to connect with Lastrom. He said some things about the foundation, and spoke about some things about grants. So I like to pick his brain there, and yeah, we could do that in like an AMA or a blog article as well. So like any type of cross collaborations you want to do, like in terms of events, we could do that. And then for the demos that we host in relationships, we also record them, and we'll release short form content as well. So like, let's say the demo goes for like an hour long, we'll take like the five highlights of the demo and release at least 5 videos out of it, and then put it on YouTube and Twitter.
Thank you for coming up. And damn, I can't believe I'm just now putting the two together. You're in world with us right here. And I said what's up to you a little earlier. Yeah, dude, you just missed last room. He was just up here speaking, and he probably had to go to his wedding. Probably got picked up. But yeah, definitely connect with Lastrom. He's a very knowledgeable individual. Okay, so especially like on the development end of things. So yeah, and I mean, hey, we're always here. Definitely gonna shoot you a follow and see if I can ever pop into one of the Bankless DAO Twitter spaces just to support and see what you guys are about.
Awesome, awesome. Appreciate that. Just give you a follow back. And yeah, hopefully we could set up some events soon. Yeah, we could definitely set up an AMA on the Bankless DAO account and then do a demo for the DAO server, which is a sub DAO of Bankless. And the vibe there is more so like in that Discord server is to function like a country club, if you will. So we have communities from all over the place, like Awagachi, ENS, for an example, ETH quite a few DeFi protocols as well, just so like people could share updates with their projects, and get those updates in real time. Um, but yeah, and then we just had a space with MailChain. We're working on setting up a space with Nounsdale sometime soon. So I'll let you know when those spaces are set up. But yeah, just would like to connect with you guys some more and just just show love to Decentraland, because I've been getting more so involved in the metaverse space. But definitely want to get more so involved in Decentraland, especially since it was the first metaverse I experienced. So want to help out any way I can here.
Most definitely, and yeah, I think you had just mentioned Nouns DAO. I believe we have like a bunch of Nouns DAO wearables in the marketplace and stuff like that. They've hosted events here as well.
Awesome.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying that's awesome. I definitely want to. That's something I'm interested in too. Is creating wearables. Maybe not like doing the work in Blender. I am friends with a few designers. There's a lot of designers that comes out of relationships in Bankless DAO, and engineers as well. So I'll come up with some ideas, and hopefully they can help bring it to life. because like I'm looking at my character now. I would like to like even something as simple as just changing the hairstyle to make it look more like mine, like give them box braids would be pretty cool. And yeah, just I would like to contribute on that front as well. And then see
Jar.
if some folks from Meta Cartel would like to contribute because they like focus on wearables.
Yeah, dude, I can tell you right now that we could potentially get your for like if you were to move on this, let's say, like get a homie and get a wearable going, we could definitely move on this and you might be able to skip the publishing fee portion of it. We had our friend Rustan in here earlier that had published a pair of very, very popular pants, and he has kind of decided that all the proceeds will go back into future wearable submissions for newer creators. So yeah, definitely something, an opportunity. You have a window there, so.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I'll definitely follow up with that. And then I'll see what's up with my friends at Meta Factory. See if they would like to contribute, especially if they make very high end wearables as well. And they mentioned like how they go about it in the demo that we hosted with them about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we'll love to collaborate on this front. And yeah,
Uh,
so expect to hear from me soon.
For sure. You just mentioned high-end wearables, so I'm already like thinking that it's like he's working in like high poly. So definitely before you speak to him, send him a link to the Decentraland wearable creation documentation
Hmm.
with that like you can find it in the like if you go to decentraland.org at the top of your screen it's like this it's right next to blog between blog and events or wait no I'm sorry it's right between builder and places it's called docs
Oh,
you
yeah.
you can click in there and then go to the for creator section and then they're like on the you'll see like a wearable like section on the sidebar.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I see it. Yep.
Yep.
And I figured they should be low poly. I remember he was talking about that to make sure that that they're functional. That was really important for the wearables to be low poly. I remember him mentioning that during the demonstration.
Can't have very many triangles relative to the nice things you see in other games.
Mhm. Right. Yeah.
Triangles is a dirty word. Like I think most of us when we hear triangles, like we flinch a little bit.
Yeah, like the fact that you like see all these amazing wearables with like low triangles just tells you like of like the kind of wizards that we fucking have here. So, oh, go ahead, Jars.
No, I was just gonna say, I also would like to know more about the sub communities. I noticed there's quite a few sub communities from Decentraland, like Last Slice Collective, for an example. And right now in Dalationships, we're putting together blogs to show people how to get involved in sub communities as well. So we're currently working on a blog article about all the different sub communities within Pudgy Penguins, and we're doing something similar for ApeCoin, and we're going to also show how to get involved in the Ape Assembly. But I feel like it'll be interesting to talk about quite a few of the sub communities that's spinning out of Decentraland and put together a blog article on that also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
most definitely.
that's such an interesting question. I'm just trying to think of like all the iterations of the subcommunities. There's just so many like
Like
collectives.
DG. I mean, DG could be seen as
I mean,
a
yeah, it's
sub
definitely
community of
a.
DGens.
Oh yeah, I
Baby
mean, like DG
dolls.
has its own sub communities almost too. Like there are sub communities of the sub communities.
Yes, yes,
Like
that
the
is true.
CBD is not a monolith. Like you guys kind of have like little different focuses of people too in there. It's definitely that's definitely a good idea though because it makes sense because when you come to something new like Decentraland, it's very easy to look at the group of people talking on a stage and just be like, oh, those are the cool kids. I remember when I first got here and I felt like an outsider and I was like, but it's not like everyone is an individual and there's definitely like everyone different groups and once you kind of like break it down and understand it it's like way less I think intimidating to like go and say hi to people because you're like oh yeah those aren't the cool kids they're the Warhammer nerds who I can go play games with or something at the lunch table with. That was like the worst metaphor or analogy.
I know, but I get what you're saying for sure, and yeah, it just makes the communities a little bit more approachable, especially like when I got the idea initially to start writing about sub communities and how to get involved was when we hosted a space with Pudgy Penguins. And usually you have to own some form of the IP to be a part of the community. And, you know, a Pudgy Penguin is pretty expensive. So just learn like other ways that people can communicate or could pretty much like contribute to the community and be a part of it without necessarily having enough to afford the main NFT itself. And then yeah, just started focusing on all these different sub communities within these different DAOs. And yeah, I noticed that there's some in Decentraland. I'd like to bring some more awareness there too.
Yeah, no, I think that's a super smart idea. It sounds like you're providing great value to your community.
Thanks, thank you. That's the goal. And yeah, and then so I noticed these spaces are every Saturday. Are there any others Decentraland spaces to attend during the week as well?
Sometimes the Decentraland account, like the official Decentraland, will host a space on Wednesday around like 11 a.m.
Yeah, what happened to the
Eastern.
Wearable Wednesday spaces? They
I,
run out of wearables to talk about?
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot going on, and you know, they will keep like they'll do them like bi-weekly or something. Like I used to love them whenever they had them like every week. Like for me, consistency is like, you know, like I don't even have to think. I just know that at this time I should be here, you know? So
Yeah. Sometimes people just change the day of the week they're doing, and yeah, that just throws you off.
yeah.
I think we're
So
degens with like, you know, our short-term memory loss is, you know,
happens.
it's real. So it needs to be easy to find.
Yeah, but most definitely, I I could point you towards a more general Twitter space being. Oh, actually, uh, like I mean, if we're talking, I'm gonna recommend the Metaverse 3 because I love CK
Amazing.
and Oddjob. You
Not
know,
technically a DCL focused
I know.
space. Technically, I mean, its roots are very DCL.
Yes,
I
they are.
and there's also there's the Music Matrix on. Is that Mondays? No, that's not. What day is Music Matrix on? Sinful.
Music Matrix is we host those on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, at the True Band Room. It's usually like an interview talk show for musicians that are within Web3. Actually, any musician really. Like we kind of like you know, show them that we exist and show them that there's a community that exists here, and bring them in, talk about their music, and learn about them.
Jack Frost too.
Jack Frost is still doing the Tuesday spaces.
Last I knew, it's been a couple weeks since I've been to one, but within the last couple weeks there was.
Does he sound like he's wearing the helmet?
Always, he never takes it off.
I don't
Why
think
doesn't he? But why doesn't he put the
Earth.
microphone inside of it? God.
I think that he's not acclimated to Earth's atmosphere, and like even to remove the helmet to put the microphone in there probably would have like catastrophic consequences. I wouldn't take that risk if I was Jack Frost.
You are too nice. I mean, I'm a hater. I won't deny that for a second. I have no reason to believe Jack Frost isn't a lovely person. I've enjoyed some of his songs, but the audio quality when he's wearing that helmet, I'm just like, come on, man.
No. Anybody that stays, I'm not saying that he's not an alien. I'm not saying that he's not an alien, but let's say that he is actually like somebody from Earth. Like anybody that stays in character that much, God, you have my undying loyalty forever because
his Andy Kaufman like dedication to the bit.
I am gonna run with that shit to the end of times. I'm like, where'd you park the spaceship? He's like, well, you know, behind the build, like over there where I have my platform. And I'm just like,
He always has like a response, like an
yeah.
in character response. You're right. It reminds me of SPD.
Yeah, he's just gonna bring it out of me too. I'm gonna be like, well, yeah, of course you have to put your spaceship over there. Like,
to get back to the
appreciate that.
to get back to the answer the question, in terms of like other spaces or other communities, there's Pixelia with Anten Radio. There's like the one man community. I mean, he's also got Pans, but there's Buffalo with Buffalo Music. I know that Blease
Do they host Twitter Spaces?
does does Buffalo?
Buffalo and Anten.
Well, Anton does the streaming, does the video, and Buffalo does host spaces. I've been on a couple of them. I don't know how regular they are. I know that the Metagame Hub DAO, which has received I think 2 different grants, that's also working on an external builder, has they've got like a weekly. I think it's like a Twitch stream. So yeah, I mean, if you were asking like specific Twitter spaces, then I can't help you because the space is, people get their word like, what's her name? Empress Rayon does kick streams now, and that's ice poker, but she also does, Fortnite. I mean, I think people have sort of expanded into whatever area they can.
Help! I'm streaming, and it's
Yep.
on YouTube. And are Kenji and whoever doing their Twitter space still?
Yes.
Yes, I saw that, but I assume those are in a language I don't speak, just because the characters advertising them in the tweets I've never actually clicked on to go listen to are in.
Well, it's good for those that might speak their language to know.
Yeah,
But
totally.
I also wanted to point out there's a couple of people that are up here that looks like they've had their hands up for quite a while. I know it's your guys' space and all. I just wanted to
Comard.
point that out.
Oh, I've
I'll
been
answer that.
trying. I've been trying to segue. Trust me.
I'll answer that question and then we can move on. Kay and Kenji, we were just saying like their Twitter space is DCL focused and it's Tuesday their time, so it might actually be Monday US time, and they do conduct that in Japanese, I think, but as Sinful was saying, sometimes all of a sudden they'll segue and say hello into English as well. So Sinful, you got the floor. I'll let you segue.
Thank you. And I do see a lot of new faces. What's up, Shawnee? Hello, KJ. Asia, I see you in the crowd. Nicole, welcome. Any new listeners just coming in, please make sure to like and retweet the room. Make sure to tell your friends that we're here, hanging out, talking Decentraland shit. Lady Trader, I know your hand went up first, but I know that Kamard's NFT has been here a little longer, so I'm going to pass it to him and then over to you right after. Thank you so much for being so patient. And Kamard, the floor is yours. Am I saying that right? The floor is yours.
Yeah, honestly, people call me Comrade, Comard, but the correct pronunciation is Comard. So I saw the space title and I was like, oh, I got to get in there because for those of you that don't know, I've been an educator in the space of Web3 for a little under 2 years at this point. And so I've been sitting here listening to you guys talk about, building up in Decentraland and building each other up. And that is fantastic. I'm glad to see that people are trying to be involved in building meaningful and lasting relationships. And I just wanted to point out to you guys that you have to remember in any relationship, it doesn't matter if it's your boss, if it's your wife, your mother, your brother, even your children, or maybe that best friend from high school, that the relationship has to be a two-way street. And what I mean by that is that you have to really, really make sure that it's beneficial for both parties involved in said relationship to be involved in a relationship, because if it becomes one-sided one way or the other, then somebody's taking advantage of somebody, and it should never ever be that way. So just keep that in mind as you guys are working on building your communities and building your brands. And gosh, please stop talking about them as projects. They're not projects, you guys. They are brands. That's the perspective of a business, is a brand, not a project. I mean, if you're just here to do a one-off and go, try to do like a get rich quick kind of thing, then you're right. It is a project. But if you're here to build something that's meaningful and lasting, it is going to be considered a brand. So that's really all I wanted to say about it. And I appreciate the time and the space. I did shoot you a follow. And I look forward to seeing what else you have going in the future.
Komar, thank you so much for coming up to speak today. And thank you for introducing yourself. Currently, I mean, in the space right now, we have, like in the speakers, we have two licensed educators here. Both Kanessa and Oddjob are, licensed educators. So I mean, I feel like like as soon as I heard you speak, I feel like you were like in the same wavelengths as they are, and your community is very, very lucky to have an individual such as yourself. Thank you, and let's pass it over to Lady Trader. How are you doing today? Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm doing awesome today. I was listening to you guys speak, and it's awesome. It's a great space. And when I saw the title, "Community Building," with in Decentraland, was very happy and excited, and wanted to jump in. Usually on Saturdays, I don't really join Twitter Spaces, so this was like, hey, this sounds really cool. For those who don't know me, I am a key opinion leader. I work with a lot of launch pads, work with a lot of tier one projects. I'm a space host as well. One thing that I wanted to ask is that because Decentraland, it's like, within the top altcoins, right? And so myself and my community, we are a big fan of Decentraland and a lot of other metaverse projects as well. But Decentraland is definitely one of the top ones. And so what I wanted to ask is that we are, most of us, right? Majority of people who are, who like Decentraland, there is not really a lot of user adoption out there, right? So just take me as an example. I love Decentraland and what you guys are doing, the concept of it. But when we talk about the actual user adoption and actually using the platform, utilizing it, and being a part of that's where we lack, right? A lot of us, because we want to definitely invest in the coin, we want to hold it, but then when it comes to the user adoption, it's kind of like on the lower end. And what I want to do as we go into this next bull run, which I believe would be in 2024 and 2025 after Bitcoin halving, I want to educate my community not on just the project side of things, right? But like the brand, what Komar was talking about earlier, right? We see it as a brand, but focusing on the education side of things, educating my community on the adoption of that product. Why should we invest in it? What's out there for us? Have we even tested the platform? What would be the best way to start that? And I'm also doing like an educational series of spaces, for my community. Those are not sponsored spaces, but obviously some are sponsored, but the educational spaces are not sponsored. And what I do is I usually get maybe a couple of experts on there, and then we just talk about it. And so what would be the best way to kind of get the community excited about the actual user adoption, not just the investment side of things, not just the ROI, but actually being part of the community, and then actually using Decentraland as a platform.
Well, I mean, as far as like how to get the user excited, and like actually using the platform, like it all depends on the individual that you're talking about. Like if you're talking to like an individual that's about the money, about the books, the Decentraland is not very appealing. But if you're talking to a creator, if you're talking to a musician, artist, a 3D modeler, coder, graphics designer, like Decentraland is a possible opportunity for them, and like not just like opportunity for employment, like from a project or like a brand that that is already there, but like it's permissionless. Like they could begin this studio, this brand themselves, and then push it themselves. It's So, it's for the creator, it's like a great way to build community, to meet your community, actually like be able to engage with them in like, and while being thousands of miles away. Think about like the musician that has a Friday night off and wants to hang out with his community, has no shows, but let's all get together at MetaZoo, and vibe, and that's a great opportunity for his community to get to know them, and that I guess like in my point of view, it's like a matter of like the better that a community knows its creator, like the more they're willing to support them. So I hope that kind of answered the question.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for answering that. Um, I've also I followed some of you on there. I would love to keep in touch and also possibly invite you to one of those spaces that I have where we talk about metaverse and maybe speaking to the community about your experience in the metaverse and what how we can leverage that. I think that would be great because I definitely have a lot of creators in my community as well, and I want to introduce them to metaverse not just as a as an investment opportunity or a digital asset, but actually utilizing the platform, right? Go beyond just the Decentraland coin, but actually look at the platform.
Yep. I mean, it's a great place for the creatives in your community to have a stage, a digital stage to perform on and be in front of actual people. So, it's definitely there's definitely like more avenues to the whole Decentraland thing. It's not like just the token or the land value or whatever monetary thing. It's there's definitely a community that cares here, of a community of creators that cares here, and we just want to uplift each other and yeah, ride the wave to the next bull run. I'm gonna pass the mic over to Komard. I saw his hand go up as I was speaking, so perhaps maybe even he has an answer to your question.
So I wanted to give what my interpretation or my answer would be for your question. And the first thing is that you have to exude confidence in whatever it is that you're saying, whatever it is that you're doing. If you don't have confidence, believe me when I tell you, it can be picked up on by those that are listening and or seeing you. That's number one. Number two, when you build a meaningful and lasting relationship with somebody, they're going to go out of their way to support you. Maybe it's not with the prospect of a sale, but maybe it's with the prospect of, hey, sharing this post, or hey, let's like this post. Oh, you know what, I got an opinion on this one, let me post my comment on there and give her a little bit of a boost. And it's those kinds of behaviors and relationships that we build that truly count. And I'll give you a perfect example here. The people that run Meta Rides, who's in the audience, by the way, fantastic, amazing gentlemen. I have known them pretty much the entire time I have been in the space. I've done some educational stuff with them. I have worked with Meta Rides a little bit and trying to get some stuff lined up with them, you know. But it's because of the relationship that I built with them that we're even open to the prospect of collaborating in some way, shape, or form. And we've done numerous minor collaborations throughout the last 2 years. So again, I think those are the things that not enough creators in the space put focus on. You really just need to focus on finding friends. If you find one new friend every day, at the end of a year, you're going to have nearly 500 friends minimum. Okay, those 500 friends, build those relationships. Don't just jump into somebody's DMs and be like, hey, let's collaborate and I want to sell you my marketing skills. What? No, don't do that. Don't do that. But those are the kinds of things that I would say are going to benefit you a lot, Lady T.
Thank you, Komard. And you mentioned something at the beginning that I think is just worth touching on, about like not calling something a project, call it a brand. And I think that Decentraland is like an overarching umbrella of a brand, but within that there are so many opportunities for people to build their own personal brands, build their own personal play to earn games. There's artists, there's musicians. But I think some of us, we're not here for the price of mana. Like, I mean, I bought mana when it was 5 cents. I bought mana when it was $5. Like, I don't care about the price of mana. That's not why I'm here. I'm here because because I'm an artist, and it has different ways that I can express myself, whether it's through like the builder, through Blender, through emotes. So excuse me. I always tell myself, like, I'm here to build the land, not a brand. Like, I don't have a personal brand, I guess. I don't know. Like, to me, that's not so important. I want to see Decentraland as a whole grow because I believe in an open metaverse. I believe in the DAO. I still believe in the DAO. Win, lose, or fail, I still believe in it. And so I think, like, there are so many of us that have come together for like CBD and different builds that we've created without, intending to turn it around and make profit. So I think it's worth mentioning that too, that the people in this room, we're not in, some of us we might be hodling mana because we hope that we bought it low and it sells at some point high. But I think that we don't talk about the price of mana much because we're not going to stop building if it goes up or down. Like, we're the builders, the creators, the dreamers. And that ultimately is what I think usually the people in this room, that's what it's about. And community, like community first. I think we've seen some amazing things, amazing people come together recently, like when community members were going through some unfortunate life stuff. And so I think that ultimately is the greatest commodity, is the people here. Like, I don't care what platform of like Unity or Blender or what we're using, like, it's the people behind that creating stuff that really matter to me. So Comard, have you come into Decentraland much?
Yeah, I own metaverse property in Decentraland, Isles of Meta, Tropyland, and many other numerous metaverses.
You ever
Because
make it to a
as an
dollhouse party
educator
though?
within the Web3 space, my ultimate goal is to build a school within that metaverse that I will then mirror to other properties and other metaverses at some point in the future. At least that's the goal. Now, whether those metaverses will allow for it or not, I don't know. But that is the goal, and that has been the intent behind picking up all this different metaverse land.
Have you seen what DCL University is going to create?
I have. And I've actually spoken with a couple of people from there. And they've actually talked about having me come in as a guest speaker once or twice. So, as an initial kind of thing.
That's awesome. And what is your so if you're an educator, just as an educator myself, like, what's your background, or what have you taught?
So I am a professional business coach. I took a $50 business and turned it into a $10 million business in 5 years. One of the ways that I did that was by doing what I do here, which is obviously giving some free knowledge and education away. But then the other thing is that I networked and built meaningful and lasting relationships, met the right people, met the owner of the New York Giants. The New York Giants guy says, I need you to come work for me. Well, I'm not going to work for you, but I will do work for you. And, we worked out a $3 million contract on that. I had the New York City School District come to me, which came because the mayor of New York City was actually at an event I was attending, and I met him through there. And then he's like, oh, man, let me get you into the school district. I'm like, okay, great, let's go. So, it's all through the power of networking and building those meaningful and lasting relationships. And that's why I preach on it so hard. It's not so much what you know as much as it is who you know.
My good friend Art likes to always say, your network is your net worth. I guess
1000%. Absolutely agree with that. And I wish more people would put focus on their networks and the relationships they build rather than trying to do the show and trying to do the pitch and trying to get people to hand over dollars or bitcoins or mana or whatever they're trying to get handed over. But I think that those dollars, those sales, those mana, whatever it is that you're looking for, will come back to you at some point. But you have to be willing to put in the work. Okay, and the work is building meaningful and lasting relationships, which, as I stated earlier, comes back to making sure that the relationships you're building are mutually. That means both parties in the relationship benefit from it.
Man, I'm so happy you're here. You get it. You definitely get it. So I'm just gonna throw this in the middle. I'm a Giants fan. Anyway, back over to Jared's question. Have you ever stumbled into a dollhouse party?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Have you ever made it to the DCL baby dolls? Like, what are your like some go-to DCL events, or like where is your parcel? Where can we check out your potential builds or anything? But more importantly, have you ever gone to the baby dolls and rocked out? Because I feel like that's the question of like how do you get user adoption. I feel like that you gotta meet the people, and I feel like that's like the best like. If I was gonna say like what is Decentraland and like how can you kind of get a sense of it, I feel like that's a really good just head first chance to explore what Decentraland has to offer in the form of community and brand building.
I'm sorry if anyone's talking. Am I rugging?
Hey, can you
Thumbs
hear
up
me? I
for
think
yes.
you're rugging. Hold on, let me go on the back channels.
Hey, could I ask another question? Because we are talking about education. What is being done? Are we seeing a lot of adoption also in the, in basically in the regular mainstream sectors, like the government sectors or the public sector? When we're talking about public universities and things like that. I know that there was a push, at least after COVID-19 hit, for a lot of universities were having the metaverse and metaversities. So is Decentraland team, are they actually reaching out actively to, some of these universities? What do we see in that sector? I know that the user adoption will grow for us and for the private sector and, the metaverse enthusiasts, right? They're going to build. But what about, those other sectors? Are you guys aware of any of those developments?
I think with the new Decentraland University, kind of the new evolution that a grant was just passed for, it is going to solve the biggest problem of how to get the educational content to the student in a kind of I guess a restricted way, because right now if a university came in, apart from token gating, I think just getting that information disseminated, that's been a big challenge. There is one I think it's Academy. It's a place out of the United Kingdom that has high school students, and they're teaching here. I believe there may be another one, and that is token gated, so I can't tell you much about it because I'm not a student, and you have to be a student to access that. I think that the entire idea behind the university district, that was in the original foundation of the, Decentraland map. So it's good to see them put out some progress. And I think that, once they need that first before they go and appeal to a larger audience. So probably from that point, then they can start, working with educators, content developers, and but as an educator myself, like you've got to have that, you've got to have those loose ends tied up first, because unless you're going to offer free classes, and there are some that have just free content available on Parcel. But I think to appeal to a university, universities are not for profit. I mean, they need to get paid. So then when you get paid, you need to keep the paid customers in, the unpaid customers out. And you can do that right now with token gating, a wearable. But apart from that, there's going to be, no other way to make sure that content isn't just freely accessed by people that haven't, paid their dues, paid their tuition. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to pause for a second. Sinful is rugging, and he is going to retry to get this going. So 1 second, I apologize in advance if we rug, we may rug, but hopefully Sinful can get this going. So if we do rug, just follow Sinful and click on him or me. We'll all be in the space again in just a moment.
Are we having a moment of silence?
We are. Sinful's rugging. So, there he is.
Okay.
Yay!
Okay, so I thought I was still rugging because everyone was just so silent.
I think that's the longest moment of silence that we've ever had because we love to talk.
Damn, we even lost our new friend. Our new friend's still here? Oh, Lady T dropped that, huh?
I think a
Sponsored
couple
by
people
Wisher.
Sure. Okay, sorry about that. Don't let me interrupt the conversation now with my shenanigans.
Nope. I think it was good. We were discussing whether, major universities had come into Decentraland yet. And I was explaining that, you probably, education, universities like that need to have a way to disseminate their knowledge in a safe way that, like if it's a paid instruction, not everybody can access it. And so that's hopefully what the new Decentraland University grant, the problem that will solve. And that's where we left off. And I think the floor is open if anybody, let's see, we've been going for 3 hours. So yeah, I guess we got lots of new friends here. If anybody has a subject they'd like to hit, feel free to come on up.
And take it away, One Existence. See, your hand is up.
I just thought I'd mention, I don't know if you guys talked about it yet or not, but the ambassador program is now on its way. They're taking applications through October 6th in the DAO. And basically that is you'll work with the foundation and the DAO and a program manager to do some IRL events and attend different functions or meetups in the space as well. So if you're interested, make sure you get in there. There's some Valencia, Spain, East Coast, West Coast of the U.S., Dubai and Singapore. So, some more European applicants would be great because they do want a diverse amount of people globally being in there.
Yeah, that looks like an exciting program and a cool way to get more in real life events and have that supported through the foundation and through the DAO. So that's exciting to see.
Yeah, everyone should apply. Don't tell yourself you're not good enough unless you're me and you live in rural Vermont, where it would really just be, even if in the highly unlikely scenario where the foundation was to be like, yeah, Jared's the guy we want to make an ambassador. Not a lot of people do ambassador out here.
You know what? I should do that, and I'll have rural or like mountain NFT con, like where if you maybe just have some social anxiety and going to New York City is like out of your league, but if you're wearing cowboy boots and maybe okay, I'll stop there. But like
No, 100%.
Maybe if you're like I'll come to my bunker in the mountains and we'll just have We'll have like a chili potluck.
You don't live in Montana, but for some reason, right? That's correct.
I don't live in Montana. Montana's beautiful, big sky
Right.
country, but nope, I don't. But I still live in
I picture
in the
Montana
mountains.
for some reason.
Yeah.
But I also want to say that you could onboard Bigfoot. Is that accurate? Do you live in Bigfoot territory?
Yep, I can onboard Bigfoot, and my state wants to secede and create a new nation with Alaska, British Columbia, and it's called Cascadia, and it's awesome. They have their own flag.
Their flag is dope. I stumbled upon it once buying headwear because I was like, oh, this is a cool combination of colors and like a tree.
It's the Doug fir, yeah.
So yeah, no, that is.
No, I'm joking, but it is a good idea to, like it is this ambassador program to be able to facilitate some event in your area, because I don't think it's just NFT conferences. It's like hackathons.
No, you could set up whatever. Like go to a high school with like techie kids and like, get them to all hang out in Decentraland for an afternoon. And I think like that, like, yeah, you don't have to like over imagine it. Like, it's like in the real world, most things are kind of boring. Like, Decentraland is like a glorified school board meeting half the time if you're involved in the DAO. Like, don't put too much pressure on yourself. If you could just get like, a dozen people into a room that never talked about Decentraland before, like you're definitely you're on board. You're on the right path, on the right road.
It would be interesting just to have like a brainstorming session about the ambassador program of just like how people think that it could go down, how just like brainstorming ideas, because I bet a lot of like cool new original ideas could come out of that, where you're like, oh yeah, I never thought about that, but this genre, this group of people have like probably a really high chance of having interest in, like, I mean, whether they're coming in because it's a crypto, blockchain, decentralized platform, or maybe they don't care about that at all. They're builders, they're 3D modelers, they're coders. So I don't know. Maybe we should set that up and be like, all right, who are the like some of the top 20 people, like groups of people, like and I don't mean individuals, just like gamers, developers, coders, high school students, high school master, like advanced computer science classes. That would be a good group of people to target. But
well, like the computer classes at like tech schools and stuff around the like, for because like there's a tech school like not in Lamoille County, Vermont, which like they have like 2 of their programs are like tech focused and like media creation. Like I feel like those would be a great like place to target. But like, hey, look, you live in the middle of nowhere, Vermont. You're developing awesome skills that there aren't a lot of jobs in Vermont. But hey, if you didn't want to leave your home but use these skills, check out the metaverse. Otherwise, you're gonna have to move to San Francisco to get a job, which isn't so bad. And yeah, so or like Full Sail, like they do film and then they also have a tech side, as Nicole has just called out in a chat. So yeah, like there's definitely like I think like I always say MIT, but that's obviously not the right answer. But I feel like like there's like versions of that though. For sure, we should be evangelizing the youths. That's how all the best. That's how the cigarette companies did it. That's how that's where the money's at. You got to get the kids.
That's how the cigarettes companies did it. That's how we should do it.
Yeah, if you can sell cigarettes with that, we can definitely sell the metaverse. Come on.
Most definitely.
It's not that bad.
Way more marketable product, yes. Minus the addiction. Actually, maybe the addiction.
Fancy would say there's addiction.
Yes. I think also like when you guys were briefly talking about like what ideas haven't been thought of with like ambassadorship, like I kind of like the idea of that what Cowboy Tom was kind of like wanting to do, with the party buses. I would say that, but on a smaller scale where like you rent out a party bus instead of buy it, and like through renting out the party bus, there could be there could be some people that come. Now the retention part, I hadn't thought that far.
Is retention part of the Decentraland ambassador's requirement?
It's gaining new that is difficult. You get one person that's a follower, one person that's a supporter, one person that's got ideas, a customer, whatever the case is. That's the hard part. Okay, maintaining those relationships and maintaining those users is the easy part, and it just comes down to being a friend and being mutually beneficial for them. So I don't really feel like the retention part's hard. On that note, Sin, I do have to bounce out. I've got other stuff going on, but I did want to thank you for hosting the space. Uh, as you know, you don't have to. Guys, if you've not tweeted out this space, shame on you. You want people to tweet your stuff, you want people to like your stuff, comment on your stuff, share it with their crowds, then you should be doing that for everybody else, especially spaces you're in. So, with that, remember to ask yourselves, what have you done today to make the world a better place? If you can't answer that, do not go to bed. All right, make sure you can answer that question before you crash out. Good night, everybody.
Take care. Thank you so much for being here, and yeah, thank you. We're here every week at noon Eastern, so you're always welcome to join. Okay, so I guess I will pass the mic over to Mr. NFT. He's been patiently waiting down in the listeners while we just ramble, or I mean, in the speaker here. Welcome, Mr. NFT.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I just uploaded a thread about Decentraland, so I also pinned it up here. And yeah, great that I can be here and make some new connections. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yep. Happy to have you. Happy to have you. How long have you been on Decentraland?
I haven't been. I just made a thread about it, but I do make threads about different kind of cryptocurrencies and the metaverse and that kind of
Having
stuff.
used ChatGPT to make threads about Decentraland before, I admire your use of the technology.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, thank you, Mr. NFT. We'll check out the thread and yeah. Let's see. Are there any more topics that we need to discuss this week, or shall we start to wind down our almost 3 hour Twitter space?
I mean, have you talked about the Biennale?
I almost don't want to.
So the world
Hey,
needs to know.
you know all I was looking for, and I didn't find it, so nobody else is gonna find it either, and that's just
No,
that's all.
I am probably the only person who has, but I went to absolutely every installation on that, and not that build is not in there. Or if it is, they had to down-res it
That's
so
probably
aggressively.
good. We should probably just shoosh it, but yeah, if you know, you know. But yeah,
Hey, Jared, you're gonna have to like make a tutorial video or something for me of how to get fucking great value stitch. I need that thing, and I don't know how to get.
I'll have to that's the I got that one like on the first day, or I found them. I don't know where the cords are for that. I'll have to retrack that down. It's in there somewhere, and I have to give you good directions because you only have 2 minutes to find it.
Dude, what kind of fucking supercomputer do you have that you actually like were able to claim this on the first day? But
Well, no, I found it. It didn't arrive until this morning, 3 days later.
Oh,
Zesty just DM'd me. Are you and Canessa talking about the offensive?
yep, Zesty. You know we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I will say like last night, overnight, like when the DAU was like at its lowest, probably I did jump in there and everything loaded, and and I was like jumping around and exploring. It's a huge build, lots of architecture. Give it to that. Did it work today by any chance? I haven't had a chance to go there.
I was there today. I crashed 4 times over the course of like an hour, probably. So like it's improved.
Better.
It's improving.
I
They've been
can't read the
optimizing.
map. I can't read the map. I don't know
Believe
if
it or
it's
not, I don't
font
know if
or the
I've just
font
gotten used to it,
size.
but that actually is a better version than what was published on the first day. Because on the first day, I couldn't. It was blurry and unlegible. Now there's at least parts of it where you're like, oh, like that's a letter. It's just a letter using like 6 pixels as opposed to like But yeah, no,
Okay,
it's
yeah,
real sad.
my eyesight's not the best, so that's kind of what I thought was. It looks like some of it might be, but some of it I could tell would just, even if I could see, I wouldn't be able to make it out.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know. No, that is like the biggest failure of a like thing, and it's such a bummer. Like just if nothing else, none of the builders who built and contributed to that are like just like people of and have like loved their work into Decentraland. Like there's no Judas builds, there's no Rustan, there's no no Riz K. Like I'm not a Riz K fan or Risk. I don't know how you say his name, but like how is that dude not like being
I
shown
would
off?
like to say though that the architecture builds that are in the when you go through the portal to see them look very nice.
Yeah, it's almost like the entire purpose of the
So
event was to advertise a different a different platform.
kinda, yeah. Not to discredit some of the architects who built. Definitely not on them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know like how they came to choosing the people who did build and what they were told or informed, but it's definitely we're mad at Metaverse Rick. We're not mad at the poor people who got an opportunity to showcase their talent, and then we're even though to be fair, I think half those builds were all just like pre-purchased things you could find or like slightly reworked versions of
Someone mentioned that it would have been better had it been more platforms involved. I don't. I'm unsure of how I feel completely about that, but at least then maybe we wouldn't have carried the brunt of the paying for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, maybe if there were more platforms involved, it would have been cheaper.
I mean, I'm pretty confident that the GSS is. Oh, Fancy's here now. Fancy, you weren't here earlier when we were talking about something about you, not about you, but about wearables. Oh yeah, the one of one that's being auctioned off by Dapcraft that we weren't supposed to talk about because you're trying to win that shit.
Oops.
Sorry, fans.
Also, wearable addictions.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Decentraland versus cigarettes, where you said, "Well, not as addictive," and then I was like, "I don't know." Did you see that ugly ass mythic Fancy bot yesterday? If addiction didn't do that, I don't know what did. Sorry, Fancy. I love you.
We love you, Fancy.
Not that wearable, but that's okay. I also buy ugly mythics because mythics are cooler than legendaries. That's just fact.
Well, Fancy got the fancy dress, so that's what's important.
The mythic fancy dress or a unique fancy dress?
The fancy dress.
The fancy dress?
The red velvet, a red velvet lace, strip to the hip, fancy dress, as described in the song.
I want to know what Fancy's response to Rustan was when Rustan messaged him asking if he would be interested in returning his pink pants. Because I imagine the response was, "Ha ha ha," like the laughing Ray Liotta gif, and then like, "Bitch, no." I just feel like those were the words. Like trying to like pry a mythic out of Fancy's hands would just be, like trying to steal a
Speaking
baby.
on that, shame on anyone who made Rustan feel bad about that. I don't care.
I mean, as a person who's overreacted to like probably way less awful deals, I get being upset about collecting things. I can understand, but
well,
yeah,
let's not confuse disappointment with upset either. Too.
Yeah, I mean, in general, I shamed my one friend who was mad at Rustan because because I also just because part of the beef is that some people are just feel really adamantly that like Rustan intentionally ignored early bids in order to favor other people. But the thing is that there are people on both sides of this, our imaginary line of, potentially being favored who have maintained like, no, I got a first bid in and then I didn't get picked. So I say ultimately this comes down to, oh, sorry, Fancy. No, I didn't go into World because I was playing chess. I'm a bad person. Someone just DM'd me a conversation. I actually had to take time to process that. Oh, I actually like the ugly mythic. Plus, it gives the bonus. Is that a? Oh, it's no Doge meta Doge nonsense bonuses count. I actually had to take time to process that message. Oh, and he didn't say.
Are we interrupting your conversation?
No, I'm reading a Decentraland conversation because Fancy was like, "Wait, am I
Nope.
talking to myself?" So I just wanted to. So apparently Fancy's still processing the request, which is probably still going to end with a no because if I got those mythic pants, I'd be like, "I'm sorry, Rustan, but it's not happening."
They're too fire. They're too fire.
Yeah, I don't care if someone here thinks that they're cheap knockoffs of the original. That's a lot. First off, no, pink's a better color than red. Everyone knows that. Second, these ones have more history. The thing that makes wearables like interesting to me is the story, the narrative, the history of people being upset. Like the Mishi Todd, cursed eye mythic that as formerly known as like the Stony Eyes collab he did, that he republished and built after Stony was awarded a parcel for that wearable that Mishi made and published. Like that's interesting. Like that has revenge and hurt feelings and sadness. Like that's a good story. Like that piece of art is interesting forever. Like a wearable that's like my mythic gold pants that Yanakis made me that I think are dope. Like they're cool, but like no one's ever gonna tell the story of pain and revenge that like befallen them because like no one feels
It's
that
gonna be
strongly.
in the DCL scriptures one day. We just need to preserve this piece of history on our digital pieces of paper.
100%. That I need to find somebody who has that wearable with the original like image on OpenSea because like I refreshed my metadata one day and then all of a sudden this like beautiful tie-dyed outfit was just replaced by the cursed eye and I was like, fuck, I didn't record the history. Like this very moment, it's possible that the only proof that was ever something else is on like the forums and the Mishi's computer. And it probably isn't even on the forums because Mishi wouldn't need to ask anyone to repush his wearable. He could just do it himself. I don't know if that's against the rules. Malloy could probably let me know, but
That's a tough one. I don't know if I want to get into it, but that's a tough one because I don't know.
So that makes sense since it's
Well,
two
because
people
you
love that are...
actually you bought mine. I sold it because that I didn't as a customer. That's not the kimono that I bought, and I don't like that's not what I bought, and it was changed into something different. And so I feel like as a principle, like the ethos, like little changes maybe are okay. I know that there's other people that have pushed little changes to wearables, but I don't know. Like go ahead. Like people have a beef, but when you make your customers pay the price, that's why you own it now and not me.
Well, did I buy yours? I don't even remember. I just remember seeing it.
You
And I was
did.
just
You
like,
bought it
I
from
just remember seeing it and being like, I need to trade ice, BG, whatever I have to get this because
I remember you bought it from me and told me that somebody paper handed it, and you bought it off of my alt, and so I'm like, yep, some idiot paper handed it.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, well, that won't be the last or first or last time I've put my foot in my mouth when talking to you, Canessa. But so my bad. That reminds me of the
That's
time I was.
okay. We all do.
That
That's why you wear chocolate shoes, and then that way when when I put my foot in my mouth, it tastes better.
That's actually just a Jared classic. That reminds me of the time I was talking to Ben Varga on Twitter about because the reason I was talking to him is that one of his game is like the last thing available on one of the two pillars for like the old school stuff, and then I just it just transcribed into me just shitting on the landing area where you land, and I was like, nothing personal to you, Ben. Like your stuff. He's like I made that. I'm just like oh well you're so you're saying is I just spent two a Twitter thread bad mouthing your work personally. Well, oh, so this is the Jared special when I just reach out to a person to specifically inadvertently, unintentionally shit talk them. As other people here can attest, I'll totally be more than happy to reach out to you to shit talk you directly. So it's great that I have so many such great qualities and habits.
It's what it's.
Now I need to go look at now I'm just gonna stalk Canessa's alt account's wallet though. I'm gonna go.
Which one?
There's some gems.
The one I bought from.
Oh God, where did you buy it from? Let me go hide.
I don't know.
Well, we haven't had any new speakers come up and bring up any new topics. So, what do you think, Canessa? Should we start winding down?
I think that's a good idea. I think we've had some big, really cool big topics covered, especially at the beginning, and then lots of new faces today. So it's cool to, get to meet some new people, and I think it's time to go build some stuff.
Yes, I think it's time.
Can I shill and not give you any details that I'm working on something I'm so excited about you're gonna see something coming later later this
that
week.
emote you tweeted about?
Yeah.
What else did it do?
I like the shill, like the I'm working on something. That's that like it's like just the most subtle shill ever. Just like something's coming, and the crowd goes roar.
Yeah. No, I got this idea in my head, and then I was like, I wonder if I could do that. And then I did it, and then I was like, I need to tell somebody about this because it's like it needs to go. Yeah, like
what genre is the emote in? Is it a dance?
So that whole I know something, but I can't tell you how that feels. Just saying.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm like trying to I guess like my excitement is getting the most of me because I'm like, but soon. I don't know. Sometime soon. But I usually don't have like an emote that's like this cool. So that's why I'm like, But I don't know when. Maybe today. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe sooner. Maybe not. But I think it's gonna be.
Why do I feel
cool.
I've heard you say this before?
I don't know. I know I for
I'm
me,
just giving you
for
a
me
hard
it
time.
like blows my mind. Like it's like so I guess in my mind I'm like I've already proved that the tech is possible. And now my brain is like thinking in January and February and like what I could do in like March and next July with it. So I tend to like get my wheels revved up and then like zing, like way off in the future. So
just to clarify then, is this different from the one you tweeted about a week or two ago, but then the trampoline bounce came out?
I don't know, the trampoline bounce, and then I just tweeted about this one yesterday. But
okay, so it must have been the trampoline bounce was the one you had, because you said something about figured out how to
no, that's this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it'll be an interesting one. I'm sorry. I'm just proud of it. I'm like I'm not technical. I don't code, and so when I like solve or like figure out something in Blender that I can do, like I'm just like so excited because I see everybody doing like crazy amazing stuff, and I don't know. I tend to default to like a imposter syndrome of like I'm not good enough. I don't know how to code. I've been here for how long. And so like this one, it's kind of like when I accidentally found I don't even know what the effect is, the backface culling, like that cool effect. I was like, dang, I know something. I can do something. So
I know that feeling. I know that feeling very well. I was very excited when all I made was a birdhouse.
What birdhouse?
In Blender, it's I created a scene. I've created my first scene, land with a lake and a pyramid and trees, and I put my own rocks. I made the trees too, very simple trees. But then I was wanting to make an A-frame house, and it ended up becoming just a birdhouse.
No, I swear those original builds are like they're some of the best. Like I'm so proud of like my first build that I did, and it's like I don't know, like a spiral. Or then I made another one that was like a stone cave, and I spent days on that thing, like placing every rock perfectly, and now it's like, oh, there's nothing special going on there, but because it was like that was the first time I was using the builder tool, it was like, oh my gosh, like I'm just breaking so many walls, and even in Blender too. So I think I don't know. You know what? We have to congratulate each other. We have to like freaking celebrate when each one of us makes those milestones, because like nobody was born knowing how to 3D animate or 3D model or code or host spaces or be a show host and talk to people. So I think like to me that's one of the coolest things about the space is to see all you guys grow. Like it's so freaking cool. I know that like someday we're going to be watching like Sinful interview people on like CNN Web 3 or something like that, like and I don't know. Yeah. It's so cool.
Oh my God, scary.
Nope, we're manifesting it.
We're manifesting? Okay. Uh, well, I guess on that note, Jared, final thoughts?
Doki auction October 10th. Don't miss it. Go join our server now. Be prepared. 1,000 mana starting bids. That's a steal. And yeah, that's all I got. Doki. This is a Doki fan account. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, Jared. One Existence?
Just gonna say, Madamus, I will have myself fully doxxed, whatever, I guess, however you call it here shortly, with a picture of myself next to my avatar in the Roots sweatshirt and my Ardent Real hat.
Such a sick sweatshirt. Definitely Seed killed it with that. Thank you.
I don't do it justice, though.
I mean, I think you do. I think you do. You showed me the hoodie yesterday. But definitely thank you, One Existence, for being here. And I guess pass it over to my co-host. Final thoughts, comments, concerns. What are your dreams? Why do you dream them?
Gosh, what are my dreams?
What is the meaning of life?
Oh. Gosh, I don't know. You're asking the wrong person. No, but I think Doki should make a wearable for you, Jared. A unique Doki fan club president Letterman's jacket, so you can be special, and then like the president of the fan club or something. How's that?
I mean, I am 100% down. If you can just talk to her about this, you have my permission to promote these ideas. Absolutely.
Okay.
She did make me a mythic beard for my birthday last year, which is a pretty good deal. I'm not gonna, I'm pretty pleased with that. I feel fine with my level of Adoki appreciation. Though I did recently learn she made Nikki a unique for her birthday, so I think it's I now know where I stand in Doki's tier list. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm a cool with being outranked by the one and only Nikki Fuego.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Yep, that's all I got. And yeah, have a good week. Be safe. Take care of each other. Take care of yourself. And love y'all.
Thank you, everyone. And yeah, once again, 3 hours and 17 minutes, long Twitter space. Thank you for your time. I know that a few of you have been here the entire time. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. If you haven't so already, make sure to join the community building Decentraland Discord server. If you would like a link, just message me. Or I do know that I posted a link somewhere but also official CryptoCube told me that it didn't work. So, well, I'll have to see. Just message me. Thank you once again. Take care, and yeah, let's go back to acting natural. Let's go back to our natural habitats, which is a pixelated world with no bloom at the moment. I'm sorry, that just got came out. Um, thank you, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you next week. Alrighty. That was an awesome Twitter space. Still have 11 on parcel. Wow, thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you. Hey, Multi NFT is here. What up? Hmm. Yep. I don't know why I just typed all that whenever I could have just like said it. But yeah, yesterday I negotiated, and I even misspelled negotiated. Oh my God, this is terrible. Oh, anyway. Um, yeah, I got a Mew bubble. So now I have issue number 4. I want to do something fun for it. I like, give it away, but in a, I don't know, like I feel like, first person to do this parkour, yeah, like that could be something, but like I don't know. I feel like there needs to be something new. Um, Perhaps maybe like a series of games or something. And we'll see you next week. Make it a tournament for the Mew bubble. But then in that case, I'll probably need to gather some stuff to like for like the second and third place. I Multi NFT. I currently have one Mew bubble in the market for sale for 20k mana. I also listed that same Mew bubble on OpenSea for 3.6 ETH. Lol. I'm silly. All right. So, hmm. Oh, look, KJ's over here. Hey, how often do you
Oh my god. Oh my god. Screens on screens. This is funny. Let's see. We have oh shit, there's 11 people at Quiz Zone. Yo, everyone, let's head over to Quiz Zone. Negative 51, negative 51, 91. Ah, fuck, I forgot the coordinates. It was like negative 91 something. No, whatever, let's see. Wait, what happened to Quiz Zone? People are leaving? There's no more Quiz Zone? Man. No. Oh, nigga's getting her challenges done. Wow. I miss True Band Room. Oh, has anyone been? No, 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 no. Go at your own discretion. All right, everyone. I think I'm gonna bounce over to Genesis Plaza and close down stream. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Take care. Love you all. Oh shit, Rustan's Cove. Let's go to Rustan's. No, wait, what? Why does it say there's so many people here? Is there a party at Rustan's Cove right now that I don't know about? No, I don't think so. Wait, is my POV up or some shit? No. What the fuck? Not sure. I know this shark. All right, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Much love. Um, this stream was brought to you by the Decentraland DAO and made possible by the Decentraland community for viewers like you. Thanks. I should do something like that, like something recorded, like of like just like a paragraph of shit and just speed it up, play it at the end. Sinful Meat Sticks is not liable for any losses that you've taken in the crypto markets. Entering Decentraland is at your own risk and shit. Sinful Meat Stick is a product of Sinful Media. All IP is held by Mew. Hello, Firm. Kisses for Firm. Damn, Fermion, you rocking them new KJ kicks. Hearts everywhere. Yeah. Mr. Jim. I see you, Mr. Jim. Okay, here. Yeah, let's... here, I got you, bro. I got you. Now we got you in the picture. Got it. Oh, shit. My bad. My bad. Don't hit me, Mr. Jim. Anyway. That was just an episode. Tell him, Jim. Tell the people what they need to know. No, don't run away, Jim. Don't run away. Jim. Jim. Tell him. Okay. Jim has been tagging Vandalizer. You vandalizer, Jim. Tell us, Jim, what do you think about your recent actions on the wall over there? Oh, I see. You got too drunk one day. You had your kunais out. That's the last thing you remember. I understand. Since there is no meta court of law, I guess Jim gets off easy. Thank you, everyone. Oh shit, I still got Dogman up here. Here, let me switch right over. Give the switcheroo. There we go. Take note of our sponsors. We love them. Thank you. Make sure to support your local wearable creator. Let's see who we can raid on Twitch, actually. On Kick, there's no way I can raid anyone. No, I only have 2 viewers on Kick. It would be preposterous